Welcome to the stream. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. I'm here with Buff Del Campo, and we're on the Buff Del Campo channel. Tonight is a garage stream. Oop, too much
You always
there.
like my belly to show, don't you? Like it pointed at my fat stomach. I guess maybe that's a hint to lose weight.
You know. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. We're getting things adjusted here.
It was all perfect.
It was not perfect.
I don't like this. Now I gotta lower myself. Have no fear.
Should not have to lower yourself.
Well, you lowered the camera, so I lowered myself.
It's good to have less fear in our lives. Welcome to the stream. Dougster, you're first, I think. You're the first commenter. In the shop, things are going okay tonight.
Did you even see the thumbnail?
No, what was the thumbnail of?
It's hard to explain. It's like the back of your engine from... I can't believe you never looked at it.
Dougster, what was the thumbnail? He can't believe. I can believe. I can believe. I was busy. I was out doing stuff tonight.
I know, we were running right up to the last minute.
We were. We had stuff to do.
She had a meeting. There's another lie. Buff is on hydraulics.
He is on hydraulics.
Oh, it's a... Don't push the button. I don't want to go any lower. This is an old chair. When I was out in Arizona, there was a dumpster.
It's a dump chair.
And it was in the top of the dumpster. Was all way over full. And this chair was in the dumpster. And it was a desk chair, and it had a little rip in it. And I thought, man, that's perfect. I'm just going to take a die grinder and lop the back off of it. And it'll be a good little chair for doing brake jobs and stuff. I got to sit next to like a brake or a wheel. I never lopped the back off of it, but now here I'm kind of glad I didn't lop the back off of it because I've been using it like for a desk chair doing lives. So it's somebody's...
Sorry for the noise, hold on.
What are you doing? So it's somebody's junk. Somebody's junk.
You know how Zip Ties and Bias Plies has dump bees? I'm going to make a sticker that says skaters. Or darn skaters, or Tennessee skaters, or spicy skaters.
Everybody wants to know what hydraulics now. It all started because I was sitting in my chair like I always sit in my chair. And Kim pointed the camera down. And I said, why are you putting the camera on my fat belly? And she goes, I want it there. So I reached over and I let the hydraulics air, or whatever the heck it is in the desk chair, and I lowered the desk chair. Only now I feel like I'm low riding. And Dougster noticed, he says I'm on hydraulics. I'm really uncomfortable down here, but I don't like my belly showing. Oh, now it won't go up.
If you sit a little closer, you won't be able to see as much. Come to me a little bit. I turned the camera this way.
Everything was so right.
It wasn't right,
Messed
though.
with it.
Okay,
I
know, I'm terrible.
Let's see here. When I stayed overnight at the hospital last week, I seen my neighbor there. He had swallowed a 50-cent piece. That's a 50-cent piece. That's a big thing.
Ooh, that hurt coming out the other way, it seems like.
Let's see. So I don't know what we're doing. We came up here last night. We just didn't go live. But, I don't know. The night before Kim pulled the engine out last night, she tore it down a lot. Got it up on the stand, on the engine stand, and got the clutch off of it.
Dexter says no change. How's he doing no change?
Change.
Oh,
I
man.
see. Now I get it.
Dexter with the dad joke. Man.
Okay. So, Kim, now that I'm done running my mouth, you always do all the introductions, and
I already did them.
There's only one person in here.
Oh,
Jeez.
all right. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my channel elsewhere on YouTube where I do stuff. Sometimes I fix things, but mostly I just have chaos and unmanageability. But here on the Buff Del Campo channel, we get serious work done. Serious work done. Like hanging old Studebaker front ends. and putting up curtains to block lights that then fall down so that the light is still messing up our lighting. So that's how it goes. That's the way she goes. Anyways, I am here with Buff Del Campo, who is the namesake of the Buff Del Campo channel, and
it went away. Well,
he's trying to show me.
She never looked at the nice artwork I did for the
I got home, we were in a hurry.
And so then she never saw the
Thank you for
thumbnail.
doing the night. Everyone tell him how good he did. He needs reassurance.
So did anybody see
the hard work that he did?
Did anybody see the thumbnail, which is the back of the engine that Kim was working on last night? Chaos fixes things too. JB, how you doing?
So we have two slant six motors broke down into a short block cylinder head and a big array. I mean, a massive explosion. And if you'll notice, oh, I'm bending the wrong way. The car is way up in the air. I pulled the drive shaft out. Oh! I pulled the drive shaft out. I drained the transmission, the manual transmission, and I'm going to drop the transmission out. I'm going to drop the transmission out. I'm going to take the driver's torsion bar out. I'm going to take brake lines apart so I can get to the damaged frame rail on the driver's side that we've never told you about or talked about because we're trying to be in denial. But now that the engine and transmission is going to be out anyways, we're going to fix it because I am never doing this again.
See, Buddy Carfano, good evening. He says flywheel is the thumbnail. See, it was still on the engine. It was back there where all the oil had flung all over the place. So it's a big oily engine where we had dumped quarts of oil out on the way home.
Oh, and yesterday, okay, you guys don't tell anybody because we'll give away the ending, right? No spoilers. But
what?
We figured out that the problem was not so much. I mean, it's right there on the stand. The problem, but you can't see. Oh, can they see? The problem was not.
Wheel it over here.
You still can't see because the stand is mounted. No. It's blocking it. The problem is probably not the rear main seal. It's the oil pan gasket. Whoever put the pan gasket on over torqued it and it puckered out. And then it
mashed the gasket out. They probably put some sealer on there or something and it was wet and it just acted like a...
One side's out and the other side's puckered in.
So... either way, it would have been at the event. It would have been really hard to do because you can't get the pan off with the cross member and the steering linkage there. And then she looked for a pan gasket and couldn't find one locally. So it's just like
we wouldn't have been able to get a pan gasket till Saturday afternoon, or we'd had to drive 50 miles for it. I just
Dr. Art's here. Hey, I saw Dr. Art driving down the road, and in the truck in his. Truck that he and Tony couldn't start.
In the video, yeah. Big Richard is on the road with no door. Did you ever put a door on that truck?
Went down the road without a door.
It feels good though to get a project like rolling. So congratulations with that, Dr. Art. I believe I've missed. Have you been greeting people, or have I just been?
No, you both. I mean, I've said hi to Buddy Carfano. I've said hi to Dr. Art, and yeah, we just started kind of rambling because, I don't know. We came up here. We didn't have a good plan. We were both just in a hurry, and you were at a meeting, and you got here a little later than I expected, and I was down there to listen to us. CB Radio Live I listened to, so then I was in a hurry. And so we raced up here and we're on.
We have been very disorganized and haphazard and out of sync with our normal routine since No Name Nationals. That was a big investment of time and energy. And then, there've been, obviously there was, this car has had problems. His car has had problems.
My car had problems, all right. It's totaled.
So we have been
gone. And I'll never see that car again.
We have been doing our best to pull ourselves right out of a tailspin. How many days did we miss from streaming?
I don't know, several. It's
we,
just
we try and still be
we were
here.
just scrambling, trying to get everything done,
Mike, welcome to the stream. Glad you've made it.
Miking.
And I was talking to John Hart. I don't know if he'll be coming into stream, but I was speaking with him in person about about an hour ago. So.
Yeah, John Hart's local here, so Kim sees him occasionally, and tonight was one of those occasions.
Tonight was a night,
and she said, "Come on over, just come on over to
I invited him over
for the live." And no, he didn't want to come over.
Maybe we'll have him in the studio.
So maybe he'll come in
Tuesday night when it's not 10 o'clock. Paul Pajuli is here. Welcome to the stream, Paul.
And Tim is here now.
Welcome to the stream, Tim. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Tim's been working really hard on the underside of a truck with dual gas tanks that need new fuel lines and stuff. Tim, I feel you. I was laying on my back underneath this tonight, draining the transmission and pulling out the drive shaft. The underside of this car is just coated. It is rust protected for all eternity. Ugh.
Yeah, you shouldn't fix that leak in the engine, because that's keeping the car from being rusty.
Perpetual rust protection. Man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of cleaning up.
I've been looking at cars, everything from fairly new cars to 50-year-old cars.
60-year-old cars. You were looking at a car from the 50s.
Oh, I did. I looked at a 55 Ford, but it was too much of a project. I mean, it drives and runs, but yeah, it wouldn't do that. Wouldn't
be a reliable vehicle.
It would be. It'd be apart pretty quickly.
Another project, and we've got a lot of projects.
55 Ford's not my favorite. 56s are pretty good. 55s, I don't know. I had one 55 in the past. 6-bolt, positive ground. All the weirdness. So I think that one had been changed to 12-volt. Negative ground, but it had the original wires in it, so it's just dubious wiring and everything. So I just said, nah, this isn't the car. Don't replace a new car with all the conveniences with something that's that much of a project.
Pickled steel dart. That's right.
Coiled steel pickled in oil. Yeah, I'm going to need something as a daily. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We have the Jeep, and I kind of wanted Kim to use the Jeep because it's a nice car for her and she likes it. But then now I'm using it a little bit. But it'd be nice if I had something I'd go out there and just turn the key and drive, and it's, maybe change oil in it once in a while. I don't know. 56 Fords. Yeah, my father bought a new 56 Ford, and I was there that day. Let's see, seat belts for you, Buff. Lifeguard. Oh, did you see that little exchange? Mexican spec, some kind of YouTube channel thing, video, and I made a comment about, because it didn't have seat belts, and he was putting seat belts in it. It was what was it, an 84? And I said I was surprised that in 84 they didn't have seatbelts in Mexico, and some guy rough at me.
Because Mexico.
So I replied again. So we had this little thing go back and forth about seatbelts. But see, my father bought a 56 Ford, brand new. And in 1958, we went on a trip in that car all around the country. And he had seatbelts put in it before the trip. So even as a little kid, my parents wear the seatbelt. Okay. And back then, that was right at the beginning of the first space flights and jet fighters and all that. And we were the only people in the neighborhood had seatbelts. So kids come over and they ride with us and they get to put seatbelts on. It was something cool. And then within 10 years, it was something everybody hated. I don't know why, but I just was a seatbelt person ever since 1958. So it's just, I couldn't imagine getting in a car and going somewhere without buckling up,
KJ Kylie, welcome to the stream. Thanks for showing up. Tim says, Do you want me to read it?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Kim says, I'm coating the tanks with rust encapsulator while they're out. So that means he removed both tanks. And it's not like a car gas tank. They're heavy and have 8 bolts going through the frame. Ooh, that sounds like a big project. I had to pull out the tank out of that Dodge truck, and it was miserable. And I'm sure that the tanks on your old truck are probably even worse than that. So I'm glad that you're getting through it. Just ordered some braided gas lines. All right. See, he has a plan. Just come up with a plan and then work the plan. You'll get forward. This thing is becoming enormous, like frame off restoration at this point.
You always scrape the person off the dashboard with a spatula. Man, when I was a teenager, it was a kid that was a couple years older than me, probably like 3 or 4 years older than me. He had a big old Buick from maybe the early 50s. Had the big, what do they call them? Bazooms out front anyway. A big old car. And the brakes didn't work very well in that car. He goes, it's okay. He goes, if we're going to run into something, just put your feet up on the dash and wait for the impact. I don't know if that was a good plan.
Yeah,
he never did it.
Everyone overestimates how much time they'll have to think about it between the seeing and the impacting. How much time there really is.
I had no time. I felt that guy hit me, and then it just went on and on and on and on. There was no time. It just happened.
People used to think you were better off being thrown.
Oh yeah, I want to be
thrown free of the car. I've heard many people say that.
I want to be thrown free.
No.
Yeah, that's when they pick you up with a spatula. And then once in a while, somebody's lucky and they get thrown out of a car and they live through it. But I think they're lucky. Man, there was a guy that I knew that was a dealer for airplanes, and this was a high wing airplane pusher, kind of a cool looking jet looking thing, and he landed hard and did a big old bounce, came back down on the nose wheel, and the nose wheel, it broke the nose wheel struts, and the rest of the landing gear just dug in it. It just was a big mud hole there. It was a grass runway, and that airplane just flipped upside down. And the guy in the back who was giving him instruction, he was out of that airplane half a second, man. He's outside that airplane. And the guy that owned the airplane that was sitting up front, he's sitting there just like he was trained. He's got his checklist. He's hanging there upside down by his seatbelt, going through turn and everything. Everybody's all there, get out of that thing. There's gas dripping. He goes, yeah, I'm finishing up my checklist. And he came out. Yeah.
Tim says his laptop, while he was editing videos, his laptop died about a half an hour ago. Oh, man.
Have to see if it's fixable. You have to go shopping. I'm going to have to go shopping for a laptop. I hate it. What the heck? Something I got into. Oh, it's some financial thing I got into yesterday. It no longer works. It says my
Windows version is too old.
It's incompatible, so I can't even get into my account. See, I'm stuck in Windows 7. I love it. It was so stable, such a great system, and I've just stayed there. And I have Windows 8, and my former wife got Windows 8, and because of that, she went all Mac. She's an Apple person. As soon as that happened, and then I don't know. I've just no, it's not a Rutan Long Easy. It was a Titan Tornado. You can look that up. Titan Tornado, 2-seat Titan Tornado.
John Wilburn's here. Welcome to the stream, John. John, we figured out where our rear main seal leak was actually the rubber rear gasket. I don't know if you've ever been into a Slant 6, but there's that back rubber gasket. And it was puckered in on one side and out on the other side, and we believe that there was a lot of oil coming out of that. So, but we couldn't get a gasket from the auto parts store until Saturday anyway, so...
I feel like we disappointed John because we didn't run the car. But Kim and I talked about it that night. You remember she worked on it all day all day Thursday, and then we talked about it that night, and we just, Kim said it best. She says, well, there's just a different level of expectation to run on a track than on the street. And I said, yeah, we'll be able to drive it home, but we'll be pouring some oil in it. And we did. I think we used about 3 quarts of oil coming home.
If we had known, it would have still been a nasty job to do on the ground underneath a car without our regular tools in our garage. But John Wilburn says Windows XP was the best.
Well, that's what Mike N says. You know, here's the thing with XP. Man, I loved XP. I had Windows 98, and then second edition 98, and then what was the one after that? Millennium Edition, ME, and then I got XP, and it was wonderful. And I used XP, and then I got, what was the one after XP? Was some other very short-lived version. It really wasn't that bad, but it was kind of annoying. And then they came out with 7. Yeah, I had ME. ME was like an overly complex. ME was like an overly complex 95, or 98, and then Vista was okay, and then I got Windows 7, and man, I mean, I'm still like, that is the best. And then Windows 8 came along and goes, what is this garbage? And then at work I had 10. Kim has 11. You know, it's okay. But it's just, I'm not ready to go out and buy a new laptop. Yeah, I probably should, you know. Let's see here.
Olive, welcome to the stream.
But you got the car to No Name Nationals. I'm jealous.
We did, you know what? Great time.
It drove great. And the Mazda got involved in this massive crash, and we came home in the dark. I told Kim, I said, you know what? The dark got us there, got us home.
Yeah.
The let's get it out. The Exxon Valdez.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We stopped to get gas and check the oil, and it was like, whoa. It's more like check the gas and fill up the oil. We put more than 2 quarts in it at that gas station, but it's okay. What number ticket are you on, Dougster?
Dougster, just wear your seatbelt. We need you to be around for a while. We have plans for you. What did I do with those diaper pads?
The only time I got caught without wearing a seatbelt, California used to have these inspections that were just roadside inspections. They flag in, and then you went through this little process, and they cut you loose. So the first stop in the process, the officer says to me, I need to see your license and your registration. And, you're going to do something. You got a demonstration. License, registration, and insurance, you know. So I take my seatbelt off and get my wallet out, and I give him the license and all that. And I pull forward, and the second guy says, it wrote me a ticket for not having my seatbelt on, which just pissed me off. Because it was the first officer that had me take my seatbelt off. So, thanks, California.
Thanks, California.
Let's see. Dougster, in permanent state of gracious restraint. Olive says, hi, Kim. Mike, going to be doing minor woodworking project here. Woodworking's pretty interesting. Except I'm so oily and greasy kind of guy, I usually ruin wood. I'm going to have to learn how to not do that. I wear my seatbelt every time. Plus, it's the ride's choice to wear a helmet. Well, on a motorcycle, I wouldn't expect you to wear a seatbelt. I got a seatbelt ticket by Georgia State Patrol. It was $50. No moving. Mine was not a moving violation either. It was in the earlier days. But it just, the whole thing pissed me off because I had my seatbelt on when I drove up there, you know. I get the freedom of not wearing seatbelts and helmets and such, but the other guy's insurance should not be liable, nor should... Yeah, I kind of agree on that. Texas doing away with safety inspections next year. So stupid. I got behind 2 cars with no brake lights. Well, see, but they can still get stopped for that, you know. Yeah, we don't have any inspections here, and I'm kind of glad we don't. Tennessee's kind of the lack of interference with the public state. And sort of like it, although some things they do. Did Kim pull the tranny out with the motor? No, transmission's under there, and she drained the oil so she could pull the drive shaft. Or maybe you did pull the drive shaft, Kim?
The drive shaft's out.
Drive shaft's out, but the transmission's still in there.
Yeah.
No, we pulled the whole the engine out with of course with clutch on it. She pulled the clutch apart last night, and she's doing a video on it, but it was right down to the rivets and all oily clutch, because it had, it was just oil leaking, flinging it all over the place. So that engine runs good, but it is pretty darn worn out.
Well, I think it's number 6 is. I think it's got some rings. Yeah, it needs rings.
Needs ring. Yeah, the cylinders. That engine, the cylinders are. There's a little bit of ridge, but not a lot. But the cylinders are they're like glass. I mean, there's no hone marks there. They're just about as smooth as you can get. And that's probably why it has some blow by. It's just. Well, and then that car sat around for what, 8 or 10 or 12 years or something as a sign for a restaurant, for a Cuban restaurant. So, after sitting that long, it could have had, whatever exhaust valve was open, there's probably moisture getting in there and rusted something. And I would
looking at the side of this transmission, I'm guessing that this sat in some water at some point too.
Yeah, she's thinking it had water.
Flood damaged.
My first road bike accident would have ripped my face off back then. Helmet was mandatory. It made me a believer. We had a governor in California for a while, way back, a guy named Duke Majan, and every time that bill came through for the helmet law, he'd veto it. And I thought, I like that because I wear a helmet on a motorcycle. But if I moved a bike across the street or something, I didn't want to risk having a ticket, and I was careful. It's like, or if you're riding a Harley and you don't want to wear a helmet, have at it, but you should give up your, you shouldn't let somebody else pay for your injuries. So, California, the next governor came along, signed it right into law, so. Cops rarely stop anyone anymore. Yeah, I've noticed that. The same thing here. It used to be in California where I grew up, you're going 5 over. You might not get a ticket, and then the next time you might not get a ticket, but wouldn't long, you'd be getting a ticket for 5 over. Now I watch cars going 30 over and they don't get stopped, so, I don't know. I watched one pull out right in front of a cop. He had to come to a complete stop to not hit her, and did nothing to her. Yeah, that would have got a red and blue lights going when I was a kid. Next, I saw 2 people run lights in front of 2 cops. They did nothing. That's terrible. The Dart was a billboard. Yeah, it was a sign for a Cuban restaurant for, I don't know, maybe 10 years or something. 6th Street Garage. Good evening. I'm actually opposed to state vehicle inspection. It's a farce, and the abuses are creeping up. But I'm not all for. But I'm all for safety, and we run a tight tech program. Weird, right? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I believe in personal responsibility, but you know how that goes. There's a lot of people that don't give a crap. So that's why we have inspections, but we don't have them in Tennessee. And and in Arizona, we didn't have them except in 2 counties, which is where Tucson and Phoenix were, and those were mostly emissions inspections. They weren't safety inspections. So, and then California went all nuts, and they got, emissions inspections for anything that has a diesel engine every 90 days? Are you kidding me? So, I don't know. I'm not sure that accomplishes anything.
Yeah, they're really getting nuts with it.
I had to have some work done on the Freightliner. This is Tim. I had to have some work done on the Freightliner, the 13 speed 3,000 pounds. The pressure plate was over 300 pounds. JB, John Wilburn, emissions testing is a joke, but I'm all for safety inspections. I don't know. I hate having to do that. You know, I'm responsible. I'm not going to drive around with baloney skin tires. My brakes are going to work. I don't know. Why do people have to be babysat their whole life? You know?
I don't know. Why do they? But they do.
I have to tell you, if you're choosing not to wear a helmet, of course, they charge you more for no helmet. So my bike insurance is cheaper. We still pay highest rates in the U.S. Okay, so in Michigan, you don't have to wear a helmet, but your insurance company can. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Just a method of additional compliance. Kiwis have had a want of fitness. Just a con, in my honest opinion. State inspection was run like heck. Well, yeah, but it isn't, you know. Mrs. One-Eyed. Oops, excuse me. Got the hiccups. Oh, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat. Good evening. Georgia stopped in 82.
All right, I pulled the pins out of the transmission cross member.
You pulled the pins out of the transmission cross member.
Yep.
Well, like this car. You know what? This car had an oil leak before we drove off, but Ken had done a complete brake job on it, and all the brakes worked, you know, and we fixed the idler arm so it steered correctly, and it had good tires on it. We just being responsible before we drove the old car over there, you know, and you remember in here we got all the lights working correctly, you know. So, I don't know. It's not that hard to do. We didn't have to have some nanny state telling us to do it. But that's just me.
Yeah, but too many people.
And my wife's modified Falcon given an engineer's certificate because nothing is too expensive to look after my wife and kids. I'm not sure what that is. An engineer's certificate. Inspecting, that is. Because people will defer maintenance. But yeah, inspections are pretty redundant for most of us, I suspect. Should be, I totally agree about personal responsibility. I go around my cars every few months to make sure all the lights work. Other people won't do anything like that. Man, I was on my way to California to see my father back when he was still alive. And I had my, no, it wasn't. It was right after he died. I was headed up there with my van. And I just walked around that van and checked all the lights, made sure everything worked. I was up on I-10, Interstate 10, just before California, and midnight. Sheriff's deputy stopped me. And she stopped me and she says, I stopped you because your license plate light's out. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding. I knew I just checked it. Well, a bulb burned out. So I pulled in the next stop at a Love's or something like that. It was what are those bulbs? The little baby bulbs. They're a 194. So I bought a 194 and I put it in there and got going. Because I figured I'd get stopped all the way up there. I didn't want to be in California with a burned out license plate bulb. I figured I'd get stopped every 10 minutes. Dougster says we don't have safety inspections. Some of the death traps people drive here is unreal. Well, and you're up in the Rust Belt too. Yeah, and that's, yeah, I've seen, like in Ohio, I saw fenders flapping and it's pretty bad stuff.
Yeah. You need inspection in Ohio because the freaking car, one winter, the car will fall apart. People are like, I didn't know that the frame was gone.
Tim says, and the old car made it. The new car would give you a check engine light. Oh, my new car didn't, but or newer car, but it didn't take the ramming it got. Watch a guy putting a 75-inch TV in the back of a Suburban a while back with 4 kids in the back. All 4 tires on the Suburban were bald. Yeah, Telly Savalas. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Georgia does emissions testing. If inspections were like tech, the safety would be singled out and all the complexity of modern vehicles would be factored out. People who lobby for state inspections want to keep dealers happy. Well, I think it's going to get worse than that. I think that we're at OBD2 now. I think it's going to go a step further. I don't think we'll be allowed to have OBD2. I think it'll be all transmitted to the government. Some government artificial intelligence will do the diagnosis, and they'll send the notification to the dealership, and you'll be required to go in there and get the component put in that the AI says you need. And you watch how wasteful that'll be. Because, yeah, JB says 194s. Yep. Yeah, a little 194 bulbs.
Why is there so much oil in the transmission tail shaft?
Why is there so much in the tail shaft? Because the front end's up?
No, I drained a damn...
I don't know. 20% of cars rusted away. It sits funny and hardly stops, but man, it runs good. You know, the thing I always liked about the cars up in the Northeast were the interiors were still pretty good, and the ones in the Southwest, the bodies were nothing short of perfect. But a lot of times the interiors are kind of, just the upholstery was kind of burnt, too much sun on it. So if you could connect those two together, you'd have a good car. I thought Ford invented the blue engine warm check light. Oh, you know what? My Mazda had a blue light that would go out when it was warmed up, but there was no temperature gauge. Georgia has emission testing in 13 METR. What is that, like a metro area or something? Yeah, I had to do it in Cobb and Fulton counties. Never lived outside the metro Atlanta area. Oh, 13 metro Atlanta counties. Yeah, that's how Arizona was like that. It was Maricopa County, which is enormous. It's as big as some eastern states. Maricopa County, you had to have full inspection. But they were really after the emissions. And the same thing, whatever county, I can't think of what it is, that Tucson's in, same deal there. But the rest of the state, there was no testing. Just the state's way of saying happy birthday to you. The bearing in the tail shaft never goes bad. I guess it gets way too much oil. Oh yeah, it's probably just blocking it.
Shouldn't it drain back? Is it something plugged in there?
I don't know. So what are you doing? Draining it out the tail shaft right now? Yeah.
I mean, I drained the whole...
Yeah, but now you're draining out...
Yeah, well, as I lean it down, now all the stuff... It'll be fine.
An old friend of my dad's had great retirement hustle. He brought engine, transmission, and interior parts and glass down to the Southwest. Bring home rust-free sheet metal. Yeah, if you could get enough money for the stuff to pay for your trips and all your expenses, that'd be good. Otherwise, you're just trading money, But yeah, my Studebaker came from down there, and I hate to even see it here because I know there's places there's no paint, and it's gonna get. John says the taper returns it to the pan, except pan. Well, this is a manual transmission, John. This is a 3-speed original 2-speed synchro.
903.
903, she says.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. She's got oil going all over,
I'm collecting it.
She's collecting it.
I'm not making too much of a mess. It's just annoying. I want it to be done so I can get on with it.
When I was in California, they had inspections, but still, I remember working at a brake shop, people coming in with no brakes, and they'd pass the last inspection. That's right. You have a bolt action and an A903. A bolt action. Bolt action. Is that like, I thought a bolt action was like this kind of thing.
Maybe they're talking about they're probably talking about the
I had
tree.
I had a Mauser.
They're talking about the 3 on the tree.
It was, that's a bolt action. Okay. I had a Mauser that was a bolt action. It was made in 1918. My grandfather picked it up during World War One, and my father passed it on to me. Actually, my grandfather passed it on to my father. He passed it on to me. I passed it on to my son, and he's a special forces guy. He's the guy that should have it. Never fired that rifle because it had a little, bulge in the barrel. We didn't really know why, so we just never fired it. I lived in Fayette and Spalding counties for 11 years. The 6th Street Garage. I lived in Fayette and Spalding County for 11 years. When I lived in Fayette County, I kept my car registered in Spalding County because, yeah, you know, and I knew people that did that kind of stuff too. In Arizona, they kept an address somewhere else. And that sometimes worked, but then if they got caught, bolt action, 3 on a 3 shifter, okay. 3 on the column is a bolt action. Yeah, Kim figured it out, and I didn't. And Helene really messed up Asheville bad. I think there are tons of people missing. Oh, that's bad. That's Mike N saying that. JB, I told my brother that I would help him get rust-free truck beds for $200 each or less. Cabs too, and they could be sold for good money back in Ohio. Won't do it. So that's, let's see, Mike N. I have an old 8mm Mauser. Yeah, that's what this was, 8mm Mauser. I never had any ammo for it. I just, you know, I told my son when I gave it to him, I said, you know, this barrel has something wrong in this barrel. And I said, the last guy that fired this rifle was a German soldier in World War One, and we should probably leave it that way. And he goes, oh, yeah, shooting at Americans. I said, I had not really thought about that. But then he didn't make it. My grandfather picked it up. The bulge in the barrel probably came from firing it with a barrel obstruction. That is possible. What's really weird, it was way out. It was about this far from the end of the barrel. So it was way out there. And so I don't know what happened there. Who knows? You know, it happened in 1918. The rifle was made in 1918 and it was picked up in 1918. So it was new then. And they weren't supposed to get him, but he shipped it back. He didn't carry it back. He shipped it back in a box to the U.S. when World War One was over. Nice, Mike. Just got the shotgun and the 22 for long trips. Oh, for long things. Just got the shotgun and the 22 for long things. He has a huge trailer to do it. Whatever. I like the simplicity of my lead propulsion device. Muzzle loaders. See, I never messed with one of those. I don't know. I'm not much of a gun guy, you know. No opposition to guns at all, but it's just they're kind of expensive. They take some. It's kind of like a hobby. It is a hobby, you know. You got to pay attention to them, and I don't know. It's just down the list far enough that I spend my money on other things. I spend my money on cars. For years, I spent my money on airplanes, and then there's the house. I was determined to pay that off before I retired, which I did. And so I have a house and a shop. These were all my priorities. And the guns are probably down a little lower than that. I did have a couple, but yeah. I'm just not into them that much. Arcidian, I don't know how to pronounce that. Dunedin is flooded and all 3 state highways in and out are blocked off. Wow. Just no G word. Yeah. Yeah, I have to check the little thing now that when I see I'm not monetized now, but when it's finished, I have to check the thing that I use some bad words. Yeah, there's another word that I found out, and I brought it up. Well, Kim brought it up in the last. Well, actually, I said it in the last live, and she brought it up that I wasn't supposed to. Was, you know, you can advance the timing with the distributor, or you can unadvance it. There's a word for that begins with R, when you unadvance the distributor. And you can't say that word on YouTube. They get upset with you for using that word. So, Man, done. Done.
Don't say the word. All right. I could
Unadvanced. Yeah, we have to unadvance the ignition or advance it because
reverse the
you
advance.
cannot use the R word.
Yep, it does. It doesn't. It's not allowed to be used. It's not my.
Cannot use the R word.
I didn't make the choice.
John Wilbert says I won't comply with any of that. Yeah. Can't say the R word. Oh man, we have freedom of speech in this country. At least it's not like, I've got friends in Russia, and those poor people can't say anything. They talk on the phone to somebody here. They're like, what do they say? What can they say? Are you doing okay? Yeah. Do you have food to eat? Yeah. Is everything okay? Yeah. That's about the end of their conversation because they can't say anything. Man. Beavis a Butthead. Dun. Me too, John Williams. I won't comply with any of that. Yep, so we have a thing that puts grease in Zerk fittings. I thought that was the G word too. Yeah, that's the word, Dean. It's unadvanced. Or what's another word instead of It's negative advancement.
Yeah.
Negative advancement. Oh, man. Why did you bring the it says here premium underpads? Why did you bring these over here, Kim, and you opened one up while I was talking?
I don't know. Depends.
It depends. Yeah, there depends, all right.
Depends. I needed them, and I just thought they were funny, so I brought them over so we could make depends jokes.
I'm not sure I can say that in Spanish either. They're Sixth Street Garage. Is that what that is?
In Mexico, it's not a slur, so you could say it in Spanish.
Anti-advance. Yeah, anti-advance. Counter-advance. There we go.
Counter-intuitive.
Counter-advance. Retreat the timing. Ooh, that's an R word. I don't know.
Retreat the timing. Man. What a bunch of hooey. Look. Why do we have this?
Why do we have this nonsense? That we've always done this to the distributor, and now it's counter-reactionary revisionist something, whatever Dean says. You can forward the timing or reverse it. Glenbow, good evening. Maybe you were here listening. You must have been listening to this nonsense for a while. John Hart, good evening. How you doing?
John, how's it going? You should have come up and hung out.
Kim's inside the engine compartment, I think. Yes, she is. She is now the engine. And, Kim, you going to put pedals on that?
I am the motivation.
You got to put pedals on the input shaft to the transmission. Then you put a seat in there and pedal the car down the road. I won't create code word to work around my own language. We're giving our sovereignty away. If YouTube wants to seize my 14 cents for non-compliance on Fridays, you can imagine how much I don't care. I'm really working to get more than 14 cents. I mean, we did one video that had $1.90.
Yeah.
Man.
Woo-hoo.
I don't want to lose that.
Rich now. Hey, will you give me a bin full of wrenches so I can find them?
You want a bin full of wrenches?
A Binford wrench. Yep.
Let me guess. No metric wrenches.
Are they on the floor there?
I don't know. I'm looking.
There's some wrenches on the other side too.
You got wrenches all over.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, there's this.
Yeah.
This has numerous wrenches.
Okay, those aren't really probably. That might be the ones, but I think the ones that I need are down on the floor.
I see them. All right, Dom.
5/8. I need
See, I'm going to show this to everybody. See this? I have these things in the toolbox, and I have like little tiny SAE up through 9/16, and then the next one it'll be 5/8 and larger, and then the next one will be small metric, and the next one will be large metric. But Kim just mixes them all up together.
Mixes them all.
So now they're trays of.
Damn it, Kim.
They're trays of mixture.
Okay, I need a 5/8 that isn't a gear wrench. Here it is. Okay. Take all these wrenches away.
Just put them up on your wood.
No, they're gonna fall down and then.
You're predicting the future.
I am predicting the future. If I put them up there, it's gonna be a problem.
Well, they're really steady right there.
That's how I get out of the car. Can you please?
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Please. He's turning it around on me. I gave him grief today, and now he's mad.
You gave me grief about that. I said, look out, you're going to bump your head. She goes, you're predicting my future that I'm going to bump my head?
Yeah, cut it out.
I said, no, I'm just like, maybe you aren't going to bump your head. But the possibility exists if you keep doing that. I was throwing in a tool short. Yeah, I could do a tool short. Binford wrenches sounds like tool time. Dr. Go, how you doing? Oh man, Dr. Go. I just saw. What did you did? You did something. Maybe I already talked to you about it. The video you did that it was such nice weather and beautiful blue sky and low humidity up there where you live. That's pretty good. Color code them. You know what? The sockets are color coded, and I have one set of Harbor Freight like gear wrench kind of things, and they are color coded the same as the sockets, so it's pretty nice. And you know what? I use them for years. I've never had one break. I may have split one of the 12-point sockets.
I could really use a hammer.
You can expect 12-point sockets to. Oh, you need some metric adjustable wrench. Yes, we have that. What do you need? A hammer?
Yeah.
Hammeration.
Hammer.
I'm looking.
Hammer.
Where did you put the hammer? Did you put them away?
No, there's one on the floor here somewhere. You can't see it either.
One on the floor. I do not see.
Crap.
Did you take it under the car on the floor?
Yeah.
No. I have to crawl under the car to get it?
No, I'll have to get out, crawl under it.
No, here's a little hammer.
Okay. Thank you.
It's this little ball peen.
Okay.
It's up here behind you. I think you can reach it.
Good news. Thank you.
The chat's going faster and I can't keep up with it. So no, that's all right. I'll miss some of it.
It'll catch up.
Get the Krylon. Oh, that kind of color coding. Bin Laden full of wrenches. I thought YouTube would retract my last comment. Oh, you know what? Change it to up at the top. It either says live chat or some other kind of chat. What's the other thing it says? I'm going to look up here and see. And you have a choice of live chat or top chat. In top chat, they will censor it. So,
they don't really censor it. They just deprioritize it.
Don't censor it. They deprioritize it. Doing well and not sweating. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Dean Stevenson, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, you're absolved from all long time. Okay, so he's talking to her. So, Dr. J. Carr. Man, Dr. Go, I had no idea he had that car. And I put that picture of one up on as a thumbnail one night. And he pulled up at No Name Nationals. I didn't know who it was. I saw him coming in the gate. I'm going, look at that. I think it's the same car. It wasn't. It's just like that. Man, there he was. He took me for riding it down the drag strip. Not a real fast car, but it was kind of interesting to go down the drag strip. I don't remember what time he turned. I remember he went 1 mile an hour slower with me in it than with him alone. you see what Paul Simon taught me late in the evening. Lee Iacocca must have invented the J. The J. No, I think Lee Iacocca inherited the J. The J car is like what Dr. Go has. Because I remember Lee Iacocca was brand new in the company, and he was doing his own commercials, and he says, I'm going to drive this Dodge Murata is my car, and this is what I'm going to drive. And I'm thinking, man, you didn't have anything to do with that. But I know that's what he said he was driving.
I'm getting out of here. This is stupid.
Look at him in the engine compartment.
This is stupid. Man.
Man.
I have no part of 225. I'm not even a 170.
Not even a 170? Why didn't they make a 4-cylinder version of that engine?
Was there a 4-cylinder?
No, there wasn't. Not that I know of.
Didn't even have a 4-cylinder, did they?
Chrysler had 4 cylinders much later. I don't know if they did back then.
Did they have a flathead 4-cylinder?
Not that I know of. They had a straight 8.
I didn't think this would come out. Here it is.
So you know what a 4-cylinder 225 would be? No, I figured you'd guess and be right. It would have been a 150. Yeah, Pontiac did that. The very first engine I rebuilt was in high school, and it was one of those like little half an engine 389s, little 45-degree slant, and I did the valves on it. The guys now kind of laugh that I knurled the valve guides and got the valves fitting real tight, and I just did the whole thing, got it all together, started up, ran. I did it for an old guy, some old guy that's about 70, my age, but I was 16 probably, maybe 17, and it was an old worn out engine, and he was real happy that I did that, and he had to buy like rings and some valve seals and a gasket set or something, but yeah, we just did it for him. Hey, Dougster, the J is about 600 pounds less than the B body. Gobas. Oh, I know what those, I just can't make it come out. If I remember correctly, Pontiac did. Half a 389 using the 61 through 63 Tempest. Yeah, that's what this was. It was a 61 Tempest, and I took it into the high school, and smoky old engine, and came out a nice running engine, and he was pretty happy. Mickey Thompson made those things fast. Man, I guess they probably had a lot of stuff available that was available for the 389. Except I guess you'd have to plug off the intake manifold somehow. Just passenger side, Jay would get the huge misfire fits if out of tune. International had a they did. I didn't know it was the 392. I knew it was one of their V8s. My sister had a, what was that thing called? A Scout. And it had like a half a V8 in it, but I didn't know which, I really didn't know which one it was. And you know what? That engine, I don't think she ever did anything to it. She had it the whole time she's in college. She had one in, like, later in high school, and then she had another one in, the whole time she's in college, had a half a V8 in it. Just ran and ran and ran. The only thing that I ever knew that happened to that, somebody rear-ended her on the driver's side and mashed up the back end of it.
A lot of people in college.
Friend of mine had a body shop. He fixed it like in one afternoon, had it done. She's pretty happy. It didn't really bend it that badly. An International's steel's probably twice as thick as everybody else's fenders, Oh, man. Yeah, I like that. I like Dr. Go's car. That thing is, that's the best one. The Murata's okay, but that LS is even better. I see Dave Freiberger and Finnegan are drag racing a pink Murata they picked up. See, that's what I have to decide when I'm looking for my cough drops. When I'm gonna get some kind of settlement for this car for the, it's the other guy's insurance quickly took responsibility for this, and but I don't think I can really afford I won't be able to buy what I had, but I'm kind of looking at some older cars that are lower mile older cars that are simple, when you open the hood you can see the ground. There's all the wish I could find, like a original 60 Falcon or original 1960 Valiant, but cars like that are, man, they want a lot of money for those. Like Pontiac and International Harvester removed the driver's side of the engine. Accidents. That's why they removed. Wish they didn't stop the 360 engine option between 80 and 81, even though it was also a smog motor. Dr. Go, I don't know how many miles that car has on it. Of course, it looks, his car looks basically brand new. And it's an 81. You could start putting together a 360. Have it ready. My former two bosses were Irish, Jason and Sean, and with an asset to the team. He's hammering. Hammering. What are you hammering, Kim? I don't know if they can hear that or if that's killing the mic.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll be done now.
133,000 miles. Yeah, sadly, that's got a lot of miles left in it. You can still start, just start building up a 360, and then one day it'll be done, and then you'll be chomping at the bit to install it. Yeah, and then you don't, and then you don't have to be in a hurry to build an engine, Like right now, we were going to come here after No Name Nationals. Our priority was to build the aluminum car. Well, my car got wrecked, and so she just messed everything up. And then Kim decided to pull the engine out of the dark because of the oil leak. But I think we'll have this together pretty quickly. We can. Sounds like Kim is about to start wrapping. With a name like Dr. Go, 383 or 440 is what that does. Well, I don't know a lot about the LAs. What can you do with how big can you make a 360 that's something that's available and convenient,
Like 413 or something.
Yeah, but you don't want to put a big block in that car.
No, I mean,
be like a boat anchor up there, Yeah, so anyway, we ended up pulling the engine out of this first. So now we've got a project here, but this project's going quickly. And then
the parts mostly.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a short block that's in really good condition. We're going to have to figure out which head to use. Probably send a head in and push everything outside and then do something that we plan on doing.
I got to break into the head that we just took off and see if it's bad or if it maybe it's good.
Well, the big stroker small block is a 408, I think. Yeah, and that's what Dean says, 408. See Dr. Goat or a 390 stroker kit for the LA 318. Yeah, and I don't know how you have a 318, so I don't know how 360 would bolt in. I don't know all the little idiosyncrasies of how it all goes together. But I don't know. You know what you could do. Make something cool and just be sitting there ready. I gotta move this chair so I can see what Kim's doing, or we can see what Kim's doing. Can anybody see? No. Let me see if I can point the camera. Kim, I'm gonna mess up your camera here. Okay, now you're on. Now you're on. Now the whole world can watch you. And I mean it. The whole world is going to watch you. Yeah. Oh, I see. You took the bell housing off. Small box are all 9.6 deck engines, so they cope with anything. Here's why I say that, because one time, my used car days, I had my partner actually had bought some stupid little GM car. What's a little car from the early 90s? Chevrolet Cavalier. He bought a Cavalier, a 4-cylinder in it, of course, and it had problems. It had problems. So he bought another. It was a 2.2 engine. He bought another one at a junkyard, brought it in, and he wasn't a mechanic.
See all the grease inside that bell housing? There's a lot. And we washed it out with...
Well, now it can get...
pressure washed. We washed it out with brake clean, and it's still dirty.
So he got me he got himself, for me to install a 2.2, and the car had a 2.2, and it's out it comes. I go put the other one in there, and man, nothing bolted up. I mean, the transmission bolted up, and the motor mounts bolted up, but all there were sending units and sensors and stuff. There weren't even bosses in the engine where they drilled out and had threads. It was just completely different, and I had to wing it all the way through that, figure out how to make that engine work in there, and it was not a fun project. So I don't know how much of that there is with 318 and 360 Chryslers over the years.
If you're in the LA, I think it's pretty... not a lot of that. I've never heard people complaining about those types of issues.
So anyway, Dr. Go 408 for a 360 or 390 for a 318. 318 is internally balanced. 360 is external. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes, you have to change torque converters.
So what happens when you make a 390 out of a 318? Does that stay internally balanced?
Question. It depends. Ha ha.
What?
Depends.
Oh, it depends. Okay, short net outage happened here. Ooh, that's not good. Man, we're really lucky here. We have really good internet. And since Kim has been here, which is just about the entire time I've had fiber, I think we've had one outage.
We never had an outage that lasted a whole day.
No, that outage lasted like less than an hour.
That's it.
And that's it.
2 years, luckily.
It's been really good. And then Kim set it up, a wireless thing between the shop and the house, and it works just flawlessly. So,
it's not as if I know what I'm doing.
Well, so what's going on here with John Hart saying, haha, Kim? Eternally balanced if it's a 318 base stroker. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, I'm still here, just got done paying my bills for the month. Yeah, I do. I sit down and I try to pay them all at once. And you know what happens? I always get it done except the water bill because it comes in late. Everything else comes in early, and then I just have time to pay it, and then I got to wait for the water bill. And then my account's empty again till the next month. That's how retirement is. That's how retirement is. 390 stays internally balanced so I can keep my trans, which I would put my coat shift kit in. See, you could 390 cubic inches is, and you do some other things to that engine, that'll be a runner, man. Darn Hart, she's doing something jokes, DJ jokes. I don't know. The Depends joke. I see. Oh yeah, the Depends joke. Yeah, we bought the Depends to put under the car at No Name Nationals because we thought we had a little drip, and be able to run it down the track, put some safety wire under it, and make it stay there. But it was coming out way faster than Depends were gonna fix, so we just gave up. Had the car there, drove it there, drove it back. That was good. Certain years of 318 had thicker walls so they could be taken out to 408. Gary's Garage did his, pushed over 600 horsepower at 7,000 RPMs. Wicked kudo. What happens to balance then? Does that go external?
Well, that was 318, they said.
Yeah, but I don't know what happens when you punch it out that far. Can you still balance it internally? Just why not slip back a little, drink off, find someone else to pay it. Pass the shit down. No, I guess you're not that type. Yeah, retirement. Yeah, I don't know. We enjoy what we're doing here. And the one thing about retirement, I don't have to go anywhere. I do like to go to No Name Nationals, and luckily that event is only, even leisurely is 4 hours. If you crash your car on the way home, it
takes a little longer.
10 hours.
Takes a little longer if you have a crash.
What time is it on? Man, I took that cough drop. Man, that soothed my throat. I was really getting a scratchy throat and fixed it.
Helped, huh?
Fixed it real. Yeah, usually it does. Usually it really does. That could have been, this all says that could have been housemate forgetting to tell me she was resetting something, I suppose. Oh, yeah, I see. We have had a couple of internet failures because of our own, try to break her off or something. But that, I don't consider that as an outage. That's an error. Gary's Garage stuff is consistently excellent. Gary's Garage stuff. Gary's Garage stuff. I'm trying to think of what that is. Dr. Go, I won't beat anyone with my 318, but I do want to increase the low end torque for towing and accelerating up highway speed, towing a boat. If I tow with my car, I've been collecting parts slowly. John Hart says, good night, all. Hey, take care, John.
Thanks for coming, John. We'll see you soon. Very soon.
I hope you heard that. Kim saying good night to John Hart.
John's a good guy. He's good people.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I wish he would have gone to No Name Nationals with us, but he had family obligations this year.
Oh yeah, he has stuff to do. We have stuff to do. That's our vacation every year. Go to No Name Nationals. Oh! I forgot to make a call today. Oh.
Oh.
I need to get a hold of. He could be in here watching. Junk Car Willie. Junk Car Willie, are you in here? Just because he comes in here and he's busy doing something else and listens. But I think he's probably in Arkansas by now, or almost there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was going to go early, wasn't he?
Yeah, probably. So, yeah, John Carl Willie, I got to get a hold of him because I was supposed to meet him at the land speed record stuff in Arkansas, and I just decided with my lack of a good vehicle, I'm not going to go down there. Tommy Hanlon in Dublin, good evening. And Thomas McGray, two dudes taking car stuff off. Where do you see two dudes? It's him and me.
What's up, bro?
So, last night, for those of you who just came in here, because we talked about this like an hour ago, but because of this massive oil leak, Kim decided to pull the engine out of her Dart last night, or the night before. What did you crash the car into?
I squished it. I got all kinds of stuff I gotta move.
You got stuff you gotta move. Okay. So, so the night before she pulled the engine out, she said, I'm gonna have this out tonight, and about an hour later, the engine was up on a stand. And then, or I guess it was on the engine hoist, and we just lowered it. We just lowered it down. Where is it? You can't see it because I'm in the way. There's the engine on an engine stand. So last night we came up here, put the engine on the engine stand, and she pulled the clutch off of it and pulled the head off of it. It's a really worn out old slant, but she's got another one that the short block looks brand new. So
it does look really
so we'll take the probably the short block that's really good, and the best of the two heads, we'll have them fixed, and she'll probably, I don't know, she always goes in there to clean up the ports a little bit, and then 4 hours later she's got a nice port job. She's pretty good with port and heads. So I guess she'd probably do that, I don't know, and then it'll go back in the Dart, you know. But we're trying to make this a kind of a quick project instead of an
all-winter
project. The all-winter project should be the aluminum car, but I expect it to take less time than that. I don't want to take all winter doing that aluminum car project.
It's gonna take a while.
Dean Stevenson, John, and Jason.
All aluminum car lately, and
my last two buses said I was an asshat in Irish. Sean said my asphalt was bad. Okay, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, No Name Nationals is the anniversary of my birthday weekend. Man, you know, it's just like Kim and I met at No Name Nationals 2 years ago. We really had a good time. So that's probably just what we'll do every year as long as No Name Nationals goes and as long as we can keep building cars. But next year, we're a lot further ahead now because this car here, this Dart, is mostly worked out. You know, it just, I know an engine might seem like a major thing, but really it isn't.
I mean, it was a very runnable, operatable car.
You know, I mean, we drove it there with good brakes, good, you know, and she had it, she first got it, rear end was sounded like a grinding machine and had a wiped out front wheel bearings, and idle arm was terrible, so you go down the road, it didn't really go where you wanted it to, and all that stuff's fixed, you know. It's got good brake. I drove it and it just reminds me of a 60s car. The way it stops, it stops fine, you know. And one time coming up on a light, it changed to yellow, and I got on the brakes pretty hard and stopped in a normal amount of time. So that car drives pretty nicely now, and needs a couple other things in the front end, but we'll do that while the engine's out. And
oh, did I show you?
She'll put an engine together. You know,
lower control arm bushings showed up today.
Well, yeah, like the lower control arm bushings are are here, and they need to be replaced.
Yeah.
Mrs. One-Eyed Cat says 3 year now, Buff. Yeah, well, it was 2 years ago was the first one. So there was the first one, a year later, the second one, a year later, the third one. So the next one will be 3 year anniversary. Dean, it's called Tarmac Adam over here. PSI, what is this? PSA, I missed something. I lost an old coworker years ago from suffocation when he had his tires on cinder blocks on their side instead of stacked vertical.
Oh yeah, you cannot trust cinder blocks, and I was not trusting that
cinder
block.
Well, you know she had a jack under there too. Let's see here. Man.
But thank you because that is scary.
Well, and the other thing I've always told Kim is like I'm watching stuff like that, and she goes, you know, that car's up like right now. There's nothing under it. That car's up high enough. It isn't going to crush her. It's just going to get down really close. So my cars always take. Let's see here. I lost track of where I was. Vertical design. Yeah, I don't really like using center blocks for anything other than wheel chocks. But I don't know. One day I'm gonna build a set of steel wheel things that will cradle the tires and we could set cars on them. I should just do that. I mean, I've got the steel to do it. Wouldn't be that hard. Buddy Carfano says, my projects always take twice as long and double the cost. Oh yeah. Is that all twice? Yep. You know when projects go real well is when it's something you do over and over and over. Like there were airplanes that I built the same model airplane over and over. I don't mean like a model. I mean like the same design airplane over and over. Titan Tornado. I built probably 50 of them. And man, I could put those kits together so quickly. And, but that's because I had the parts. The factory was right there. I had my own shop and I was set up for it. But when you start getting into something like an old car, yeah, it always takes forever. All the little snags come up, you know. But when you retire, you can even double that time. I mean, I believe so. We're Mr. McAdam, late at Dean. Okay, so Tommy and Dean are talking about something. So when I got, does Kim still have her van for? Yes, she drove the van into town tonight. Since my crashed car, she's been driving her van more, and I've been driving the Jeep, which I feel bad about because the Jeep I bought, but it's a pretty nice car, and that was her daily driver, and you know, we're down a car. We don't have anything that's a daily driver. And she always says, well, my van is. Well, the van, it's an old van, but it always cranks up, always starts. You put it in gear, it always goes. The brakes work. You know,
put it to work.
It's a good van. But but you know, you drive a van around town, it's like, man, parking becomes a headache. And
we got plenty of parking in this town. It's fine. I like my van.
So I've been driving the Jeep a little bit. It's a Jeep Patriot, but it's got a lot of miles on it. I'm trying to keep the miles. It
does have a lot of miles.
Trying to keep the miles off. But actually, I think your van has fewer miles than the Jeep.
I thought it had like 180 or something like that, or 190.
What?
And my van is 205.
Oh, your van's got 205. No, your van has more. The Jeep has 187 on it. The last time
my van has more, but my van is just rusty old thing held together with sheet metal.
Let's see here, Tim. Since I had a bunch of trees blown over in our yard a few years ago, I cut some 20-inch elm logs that I set under the frames. Okay, I'm gonna build something out of steel. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I should just get it done. Buick Smith, hello all, Buff. I just came across a video of two dragsters from the 60s that ran on compressed air using jet turbine starter engines. 35 pounds each, putting out 700 foot-pounds each. You could build one. Where do you get that? Where do you get those? Oh, he's hammering.
quiet thoughts.
Yeah, buddy, you're right. She was going to pull that engine out, stick the good engine in there, and use the best head. But now, it's turned into we've got some front end work to do. Now she's got
Frame off restoration.
Now she's got the transmission out, and then there's a place on the bottom of the unibody that's got some rust, so we'll probably weld a new member in there. It's like it's going to go on a little longer than we expected, but I don't think it's going to be that long. Well, and the other possibility is we'll push it outside, because taking the head to the machine shop, nothing gets done in machine shops fast anymore. That head in the machine shop, probably months of waiting.
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. But last time we had an 8-month.
Yeah, but when Uncle Tony called Shacklets for us that one day, and it was fast.
Oh, he did? Uncle Tony called Shacklets for us?
For your motor, yeah, but we weren't sure we wanted to pay the money at the time, and we ended up doing it ourselves.
Yeah, we did it ourselves. But, I mean, there's things you can't do yourself. Although, that you're pretty good. You've bought valves and done valve jobs, if the seats aren't too bad. And then, I have knurled and reamed valve guides before and had it work real well, although guys like Dallas and Shane kind of laugh at that now, because that's like some kind of old man stuff, but it works. It's an old car. That's the era I was doing that in. But or we could take it to a machine shop, get guides. I guess they press them in. I don't know. We can get that done, and then put hardened seats in it and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
$700.
And there we go with a bunch of money. Yeah.
It's $700, and it's like.
Tommy Hannon, Bill Connolly, and Jerry Rafferty were in a band, Humble Burns. Good. Talking about music, that I am not much of a music person. I am not much of a music person. I mean, I like listening to it sometimes, but mostly in airplanes. I knew guys that had headphones on and are listening to music, and I'm like, no, I want to hear every noise that airplane makes. I want to be tuned into that thing. And years of that, I'm kind of the same way with a car. I want to hear everything. I want to feel every vibration and knock, 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 knock that I can feel in the frame. And I don't know. I kind of not one of those people that not a loud music person in the car. Sometimes, not very often.
Hey, do you remember what size the bolts or the nuts for the lower torsion bar?
What are you doing?
Taking the whole damn car apart at this point.
What? I'm going to have to walk over there and see what she's doing. Kim needs to take the pressure washer that. Yeah, she's going to take. We were talking about taking the pressure washer to it. And she was talking about this last night, whether she's going to do it or not. Taking all the components loose from the inside and sand it all and painting the inside with I guess we don't have that color paint, but we can buy it, and doing the inside of the engine compartment, while we've got it like that. And there is part we're going to have to do, because we're going to have to weld a member in there. So I don't know. There goes the project. It takes a little longer. She'll definitely pressure wash it though, because it's a greasy, oily mess.
Yes.
Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, Wendy says, Kim, I need you to come to PA to help out. Kim, you want to go to PA for the winter?
Yeah.
She left.
I mean, I specifically.
You know what they're asking for, Kim?
What do they need?
Where's the Kim Cam? Remember, you used to put, like 2 weeks ago, before No Name National.
Back in the olden days.
Back in the olden days, 2 weeks ago, you used to have a camera like pointing at what you were doing. We just didn't. We were in such a hurry tonight. Kim was at a meeting. I was in another live that has nothing to do with cars. And then it was just a rush job to get up here. And we were all flustered when we.
I would be happy to set up the Kim Cam. I can do that in a few minutes. If you guys are interested enough to ask, I will do. Ask and you shall receive.
I want to see what you're doing over here. Are you releasing that torsion bar? The car is setting on that.
I'm aware.
Okay, because the car will lower itself quickly.
If you break the torsion bar, but I'm not loosening.
Okay, if you know what you're doing.
Does not release the torsion bar.
The
only way to release the torsion bar is from back underneath the drive.
It's not that I don't trust you, because you're pretty sharp.
Could you give me the socket set, the big socket set, and the breaker bar?
Big socket set. That red one?
Yeah.
That red. That red one has 2 missing sockets, Kim. What's going on? 2 missing sockets, and it's full of like weeds, branches. Where'd you have this thing?
In the grass. I was trying to change in time.
Look at her hands. Hold your hand up.
They can't see.
Yeah, they can. Okay, here you go.
Invisible. Okay, and then I need a
the
breaker bar of some sort.
I'll get you that breaker bar that was a torque wrench. See this? This was a torque wrench. It was all rusty. She found it in the gutter, and it tests like doesn't work.
Okay, this is no good. I need a non-metric that's between 22.
That's why I was surprised that you wanted that.
I thought I would find one, but it's between 22 and 26. I don't know what size that is. Anybody know what's between?
Show me. Show me.
Between 22 and 26. I can put the adjustable wrench on it.
I can measure it.
Yeah.
This socket drawer is a huge mess.
I know.
What did you do to this?
You're the tool guy. You told me a long time ago that if I did the work, that you would help by cleaning up.
Threw all the tools in there.
Well, they were all over the place.
This is 7/8. What is that?
Looks really close. Yeah, it won't go over it.
Okay, so it's bigger than that? Bigger than that or smaller than that?
Bigger than that.
So it might be a 15/16.
Yay! It's not every day you see someone inside an engine bay. That's true. We haven't. When RC Industries was here, I was standing in the engine bay of the what was it? The Dodge, the big truck. That was funny.
Look at this. Here's a weird one. Look at this, everybody. A 30 seconds. You know it's not going to be that. Why would you have a 30 seconds?
It is
a. Bought that for something.
30 seconds.
You know we bought that for something, or I bought it for something.
That might fit. I'm gonna check.
No, that's not gonna fit.
It's perfect.
You gotta be kidding me.
You know the only problem is.
It's not perfect.
The problem is it's a 3/4 drive and we don't have anything that big.
What's that?
Is this
What is this? What is this? And that.
the same as
We
that?
have two. We have two. You gotta be kidding me. It's at 30 seconds. That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
The metric guys will love that. They'll be razzing me forever. 30 seconds. That's like some crazy American crap. Oh, you know, I've been working on these American cars for so long. It's natural.
It's natural.
It just happens. It just happens. Okay, let's see. Now I'm completely
You're backed up a bit now.
Oh,
you know what? I promised them I would get the cam.
The cam.
The camera. I'm getting the camera, folks. So
you know,
can
a cam.
the back of my head
A cam could be a thing that takes a video. Or it could be the thing that makes the lifters go up and down.
It is a
Paint engine bay turns into paint the whole car. Well, at least the engine bay is done when you go to paint the whole car. It's not every day you see someone inside an engine bay. Yep. Dr. Go, I found out how unflexible I was when I replaced 2 motors a year apart when I cleaned up inside the doghouse. Oh, a van? That's where the doghouse is, I guess, but still glad I had the opportunity to do it. Dean Stevenson, my late uncle was a McMurray. He played accordion. His pops was nothing from Ireland, but the whole family is insanely musical. My whole family's musical, except me.
For him.
I was born with a right ear that has no mid-range, and I didn't know that until later in life, and I started figuring out why I'm not musical. I hear engine noises okay. Let's see. Tim says, I pulled the engine in my 86 Chevy pickup about a month ago, pressure washed it, started cleaning some old wires, cut wires and fuel lines, took me to the 2 gas tanks, yep. Dean Stevenson says that's for a Ford crank bolt. Oh, it could be. I have it for something. I don't know why I have it. And my phone's ding-dinging me. Let's see. One thing leads to another. Yeah, camcorder. Remember camcorders? They had little tapes. What were those things called? Some kind of 8. They had a tape in there that was 8 something. Yeah, I was looking for the 15/16, but instead I found that goofy thing and it worked. Whatever it was. I hear you, Tim. This does help me to do things I wouldn't normally take time to improve until the project grows a bit. What is going on here? Now you can guess.
It's called Project Bloat.
Project Bloat.
Yep. Just grows.
Okay, so we need to take the sound on my phone, volume, and turn it down to nothing, to vibrate.
I haven't forgot about my promise, folks. I'm as rapidly as possible moving in the direction of the things that I'm trying to accomplish here. All right. This is the magic weapon choice for that.
Yeah, Super 8. That must have been. Now, Super 8 was film. I remember my father had Super 8.
Super 8's a hotel, silly.
Super 8's a hotel?
Yes.
It's a motel. Super 8. He had a camera that was had film going through it. It was Super 8. 38 30-second socket made by Knipex. Oh yeah, you can use a Knipex, I guess, but that's on kind of a. It really needs a socket where it is.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough. I mean, I still haven't got it.
Knipex are really good as long as you got like a lot of access to a bolt. As long as the OS 290 sounds okay. OS 290.
Get out the camera. Check.
Oh, look at the you're gonna use that camera?
It's the only one I got.
Is that the one you were using before?
I don't know. No, before I was using one that didn't work for squat.
What about Junk Car Willie? Where's Junk Car Willie? Did he come in? Junk Car Willie, I'm looking. I don't see him. Why are you saying Junk Car Willie? Oh, what did I miss? Now I gotta scroll. I gotta scroll back and see what I missed. I don't see Junk Car Willie. I really need to talk to Junk Car Willie, but he's not here. I'll probably have to call him. I do have a way to reach him, but I don't call YouTubers unless I really need to. Okay, let's see here, because like Tony, UTG Tony, I have called him once, and he didn't answer the phone, so I called Uncle Kathy, who now goes by another name, but I don't remember. Anyway, called her, and she got a hold of or got Tony, and he called me right away. And I was stuck out in the highway, and I was down near where he lives. He came out there and helped me. It was just really cool that he did that. But I think that's the only time I ever called him. And I just, you know, that guy's got what 300 over close to 400,000 subs. You know, you can imagine if he left his phone number out.
Hey, could you click on the El Gato and see if it El Gatos? Guys, we're gonna try and get this camera fired.
El Gato. Okay, El Gato is the name of a cam. Ooh, nothing happens.
Okay, I gotta do something. You gotta go back.
Okay, we're gonna have an interruption in.
You can hear us, right?
Yeah, they can hear us, but we're gonna have an interruption in video here for a minute. You didn't miss. I think maybe he meant Junk Car Willie used 8mm, perhaps. Oh, maybe he did. 8mm film projector and over 25 reels of family films. Watch them every once in a while. Yes.
Oh,
I think you got a camera there. I don't know if that's where you want it. What's it? Is that a steady enough? That's a very expensive camera.
Yeah,
are you good with that on that tripod?
You'd say it's a very expensive camera, but you don't know how much I paid for it.
No, I look at it and I say, okay, the replacement value on that camera is a lot.
Can't afford it.
You can't afford to replace it, so it's a lot. My father, before he died, he had somebody take all his a bunch of his Super 8 stuff and put it on videotape for me. But the videotape, I was in Ohio and it got mold on it, so it was no good. That was really sad. So I don't know what happened to his Super 8 stuff.
Okay, sorry everybody for zooping you all around. This should go for 30 minutes, and if it gives us problems, I can start it again. But you can go to scene 3.
Let me go to scene 3, see what happens. Okay, there I am. I'm like, I can tip this a little bit this way, I think.
All right, now you guys can see kind of both of us, huh?
I gotta wiggle around a little bit, get to where I belong. Okay, so now we have a split screen. No, I was thinking I heard a phone call. Not Junk Car Willie. I can Facebook him now. He'll come on. Oh, okay. Well, don't do that, because I think he is probably busy going down to the what is it? ECTA.
He might already be there.
ECTA. He's probably trying to get some sleep before the. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, tomorrow. The event stops tomorrow. Yeah, don't bother him. So Kim is.
Let me know if there's any adjustments required here for this view.
Well, I think it's amazing. They asked for this. Viewers asked for this, and you came through. Hey, someone stole the engine while your screen went dark. Yeah, that would have been Kim. She stole the engine. Took it down to the house. It's in the kitchen. No, she didn't take it to the kitchen. Dean Stevens said, I posted your link, Kim, and Buff, and said, hey, Junk Car Willie, click this and not a virus. Jeez.
Click this, not a virus. Yeah,
I don't want to.
Not a virus is the first thing they say before you get the virus.
I don't want to interrupt the guy. I mean, he's got a busy weekend ahead of him. He's got a lot of video he's going to do.
Yep. And there's a lot of people sort of counting on him to be there and document.
He is their videographer. He's committed to doing that for them. So I was just going to be there and run some support for him. And Kim was thinking about going, and we were just going to jump in the Mazda and go because it's a nice, reliable car. And it's gone. No longer reliable.
Yeah, finances this month tightened up with
with a big loss of a vehicle and a bunch of running around and everything, and they'll pay the vehicle off, but I'm not this weekend's.
It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, we had a big shock. Yeah.
Can you guys see that I'm taking this brake line off of here?
Yeah. Can everybody? I guess they can say I can see it, but I don't know, there's not a lot of light right where your hand is, but it isn't too bad. Although I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're taking the master cylinder. Kim, you're diving into stuff that we weren't going to do.
Getting deep.
You're getting deep.
Deeper and deeper into your soul.
The 6-cylinder was rested pretty good. It's got a padded seat to rest on.
Oh, yeah, we take good care of our motors. That's we give it padded.
You know what it is? When you lean in toward that master cylinder, Kim, it blocks a lot of light. I don't know where the light's coming from, that when you lean forward, it does that.
Oh, I don't know.
Dr. Go, don't laugh. We rebuilt a snowmobile engine in a kitchen floor when it was 20 below. 20 below Fahrenheit's almost 20 below. See, ate pizza while motor warmed up, then put it in and rode that night after supper. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I had a 292 Ford Y-block apart, and I put all the connecting rods and push rods and bolts all went in the silverware trays in my mother's dishwasher, and cleaned all those parts up. But man, my parents weren't home. That dishwasher smelled so bad afterwards. Then I just kept running empty loads with lots of dishwasher detergent in it. Finally got it smelling okay, but they would not have been happy.
Oh, you should have been in a lot of trouble, my young man.
Let's see. I'm a member of the ECTA. Oh, this is Dean Stevenson. He's a member of the ECTA. I've been a huge fan of Maxton and Bonneville since I was 11. Man, I always liked Bonneville, but when I was out west, out in the west, 1,000 miles is like, yeah, okay. There's a lot of empty space. You can put 1,000 miles behind you pretty easily. But out here in the east, 1,000 miles is a
lot of ups and downs.
It's a more daunting trip. And now I'm far enough away from the salt flats that it's a pretty good drive. But when they started doing speed record kind of stuff, and it's only 200 miles from here, man, I mean, then I wanted to go, but just things happen. Oh, Kim, you're jacking the car up away from the camera.
Oh, I'll probably have to back.
Okay. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, Uncle Tony. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, Uncle Tony snubbed us like 3 years ago, but it's all good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Kim, you got me sitting sideways. See, I'm here.
Temporary, we're looking at you.
I look fat again. Man, I got to get some weight off. I hate being fat. Junk car really got me to the right coast before I was only left. Oh. Ack Miller used to drive 22 hours from Pico River to Bonneville to do some things, return back home. Yeah, I had friends that ran at Bonneville. On the Tuesday night live stream when I show pictures, I was showing the pictures of their Corvair station wagon. Had the top chopped down about this high, had the Hemi in it, and that big long aluminum nose. Maybe I'll show that again for people that didn't see it the first time. I should show those pictures again, because that was an interesting car, and they went, I think it was a 300 cubic inch Hemi, and they went 250 miles an hour in that thing.
Fast. That's bad.
Allows the camera somewhere to rest, Buff. Happy Tum Tum. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, and I'm sitting here in bad posture as usual. Yeah, this is a seat I dug this seat out of the dumpster.
The dump seat.
I hope you don't put you guys under the bus, too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, if anything, I owe Tony a little. I mean, he let me do a bunch of lives with him, which is kind of fun. But then I didn't start my channel till, 2.5 years later, almost 3 years later. So you know, there's a few people that remember me from that channel, but not much. And then he gave us that Valiant I'm driving. It was owned by a guy named Stubby and Tony, and Tony gave me his half of it. I bought the other half from Stubby, and then Tony gave us a bunch of old slant six parts, which, well, rusty thing, but we made a good engine out of it. And then he gave me a new turbo. So if anything, I owe Tony something. He doesn't owe me, you know, and I think he feels like some people took advantage of him. I don't know.
But he's always denied that he ever felt that way about you.
He's never
very specific about some of the people that he was not happy with, but he's always been supportive of us. But
yeah, he has.
What's he gonna do? He's not our dad. He's not gonna.
I hope he don't. Yeah, okay, let's see here. The 0.28 drag factor allows a good 250 miles an hour without a problem. Yeah, Dean, did you see that Corvair wagon that I showed the pictures of? Kim, why is this camera still on me? Now they got two views of me. This isn't what they wanted.
Okay. You're right. Oh. I was in a difficult spot here. Now I will try and read.
Dr. Go, my car is such a square box that it could never go to 200 miles an hour, even if you dropped it off a cliff. It'd be in a spin.
Terminal velocity.
Okay, UTG is so funny. I think he got really weirded out with people suddenly arriving on his doorstep. I saw a few really worrying close proximity approaches. See, the thing with Uncle Tony was he rented that big shop, and I was there when he did that, and I said, oh my God, if I rented this, I'd be panicked because I knew what the rent was. It was huge. I mean, it was huge. And I said, I'd be trying to get work through here. And he goes, no, this isn't a shop. This is a studio. And his dream was that people come in there that he knew and work on their cars. And he'd go around and kind of help with suggestions and talk. He wanted people that work on their own stuff. And a few people did that, but most people didn't. And so, you know, it's like his dream was this.
Times change.
Like this thing, you know, and it just didn't work out. And we're an hour and 45 minutes away, so we go down there some, but man, that's almost 4 hours a day drive for us.
Well, we're not prepared to be able to do that. We would like to, but it wasn't.
But it's out of position for us. Yep. So we get down there once a week or twice a week maybe. So we weren't the right people for that. And then when we got the Valiant going, he kind of wanted to be part of the turbo thing that he gave me, so I got a hold of him. In fact, I don't remember how I got a hold of him. I think I called Uncle Kathy, and she put him on the phone, and I talked to him a little about it, and he said that I said, I can come down there now, and we can do that. And he goes, nah, I don't have the room for it now, because he had the shop he has now. So I'm thinking, man, that's why he gave me the turbo, so he could get some content out of it.
Yeah, and Engine Masters did a turbo slant 6 in the interim as well.
So I don't know. I really don't know what he wants to do, but we still may do the turbo and then run down there, and maybe he can do like some video on it, you know, after it's together. I don't want to cheat him out of that. Have you seen that yellow Corvair wagon the off-road tow company built down in southern Utah? Man, where did I see? I think that sounds familiar. The extra 40 miles an hour just needs a gradient. Dean, free fall, a booster rocket. Yeah, wasn't there some crazy thing with that? What were those awards for the stupid people? I don't remember what those awards were. Somebody put a JATO rocket on a 68 Chevy wagon or something. Some stupid story that probably never happened. 160-pound skier can do 165 miles an hour on a 26-degree slope. Yeah, until you hit something. It's not. I used to tell people. People go, speed kills. Go, no. Speed doesn't kill.
It's the abrupt stop.
It's the abrupt stop. See, 160-pound scale. Okay, yeah, I think it was Matt's off-road towing. Yep, Matt's off-road is what Buddy Carfano says. Kim.
Yeah.
You're out from under the car.
Yeah.
And you're kind of visible over there.
Okay.
I need a break.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to...
We'll take it off of this camera for a minute. Just put it on the main camera and take a break.
Okay. Well, I'll let you... Oh, okay. You're going to come sit over here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For some reason, that quit going. Okay, we're over here. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Woo! Man, how about now? I think it was my... Okay. Hi, everybody. Dean, Dr. Go, Tim, Buddy. Seems like this is the group that is here currently. We can get Buff liquidated. Deliquidated. We have to unliquidate. Or maybe liquidated does mean liquidated. Wow. Ooh, I got dirt on me. Oh, rubbing makes it dirtier, not less dirty. I am Engine Room Kimberghini. As you can see from the jack stands, I got her way up in the air. I'm going to take that torsion bar out. And, yeah, I'm going to take that torsion bar out. I have. The motor is out of the car. The transmission's out of the car. The drive shaft's out of the car. I've got two motors. Broke down into short block cylinder head. And I got one cylinder head inspected. I got to take the other cylinder head apart and see what we need to do. If we need to set it out for machine work or if we can do a workbench rebuild. I don't know, but the short block that we want to use, I got to take the pistons out and clean the top rings because it's all gummed up with junk because there must have been something horrible, some kind of varnish in the gas tank. The K member gets in the way of your feet. It's actually quite hard to step through. Yes. That was not my greasy GoPro. My greasy GoPro's over there. But it does not like to live stream. It really doesn't. I thought it would. I bought it in the hopes that we could make that work, but it just doesn't cut it. So I now have a Sony A68. And it will live stream with clean HDMI out so that you guys can see what's happening. And it has I think it has a lens that goes up to 70 or maybe 55 millimeters, so we can zoom in a little bit with the optical zoom so that you don't lose a bunch of quality. It did cost me a bunch of my monies, but you guys are worth it. And I believe that. If I didn't believe that, I would not have spent my monies. I would have kept my monies all for me. I mean, a K member's not that much problem.
Kim.
Hopefully I can get that. What's up?
You turn around back where you were. You were like, this shirt will never be clean again.
Well, you know what? See this stuff here? I got that on me when I was at the track.
Okay.
And it's
so this is a shirt. This is a shirt.
That's from when I was working on at No Name Nationals.
I don't look so fat when I'm standing up.
Good. See, yeah, but I got the arm dirt.
Trying to turn so I'm. Yeah, I don't know. I know I still have too much here. When I'm walking around, it doesn't look bad when I'm in a chair like that.
So check this out, Tim. Somebody's gonna steal my idea and make $1 million. But see my GoPro? It has 2 aluminum heat sinks fins that I made them at No Name Nationals. They slide in between the camera and the battery.
She brought a piece of aluminum. I didn't know why she brought that sheet metal, and she made that. And it does. They do get warm.
They get warm, but the camera gets significantly less hot than it used to. Bad Attitude C10. My Sony is a Sony A series 60, number 68. So it's an Alpha 68. It's the last of the Alpha series cameras. So I got it at a considerable discount over the newer, I think it's about 2014 is when the last of those were made. You still buy them. They're not cheap. I mean, I got this one pretty cheap. But I had an A57, and the stupid thing did not have clean HDMI out. Clean HDMI out is a very useful thing to have when you are live streaming. And when you record, it's clean, but live streaming is more difficult. Uh-oh, Dean got retracted.
Got retracted.
The GoPro does not overheat now, but the problem is it doesn't fit into any of the regular kits, so it looks like a silly thing. Dr. Go has a new bushing kit for a front sway bar, but several hotter projects in front of that, so not sure when I will get to it. You know, sloppy sway bar bushings will make some noise, and they, you know, your handling won't be like tip top, but the car isn't gonna like wander over the road. If you have lower control arm bushings that are worn out, the car will sort of wander and it'll take a set in the turns. So this car goes down a road pretty well, but a lot of the rubber is very mediocre. So, and I think the steering box needs a new lower. This car needs every damn thing.
Oh, it isn't that bad because it's heavy.
Well, the more I drive it, the more particular. As I refine it, it becomes refined, and I have a lot of refinement that I would like. I want it to drive like a nice car. Heck, we were talking about putting independent rear suspension in so that it like drives like a sports car. We're trying.
That Attitude C10, that's just came in or because I've been outside. That Attitude C10. Well, good evening. I haven't seen you yet.
Bad Attitude C10 was asking what camera that. I bet you.
Oh, okay. So you have been already talking.
You might.
Oh, I see. I scroll. Okay, I was outside, so I missed a lot of this.
You might wanna, if you have a little bit of money to spend, and you want to make an investment, don't buy the Alpha Series Sony because it's the end of the Alpha Series. The 68 is the last Alpha Series, and it's the only one in the Alpha Series that had clean HDMI out. The new E series lenses, cameras, frequently have HDMI out, but you really got to do your research. Go find the Wikipedia page and read. Man, often you don't get what you pay for. Make sure you're... Oh, man, it was tough. It took me a lot of practice. I've invested thousands of dollars into finding a camera that's going to work for us here in the shop, and it's still not great, but it's going to be okay.
Are you finished with this chair?
Yeah, I was giving it back. I yield the chair to the Del Campo.
Yielded the chair.
Yield the chair.
And I took my break. I got my cough drop again. Another cough drop. Back here, Blake is back.
All right. I'm going to...
Lucky my existing stuff isn't bad yet. Just see, I'm trying to catch up, and Dean Stevens said, I retar on retract. Okay. I know what he's saying. Anti-advanced.
Anti-advancement.
For those of you that were not here earlier, we were talking about words we could not use on YouTube. We found out the hard way. When you move a distributor one way, you're advancing the timing. When you move it the other way, you can't say the R word.
You're going back.
You cannot say the R word. So that is anti-advancement, or it's something. So anyway, that's what that's all about.
Yeah, well, it's just the idiosyncrasies of a system that cannot distinguish between what meaning and...
Yeah, this the YouTube algorithm does not take, or whatever it is, it's
not able to distinguish.
Yeah, it's not able to distinguish context.
Mm-hmm. But it sure is able to read what you say. They know what you say, they just don't understand it.
Okay, so you're not ready for me to turn that camera
on. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing.
She was working on a car, now she's working on a camera.
Yeah, now I can't even get anything done.
You're not advancing it. See, that's another thing here, Dean. We have, you might have them down there. There's a auto parts store here called, and they're all over, big chain of stores, Advance Auto Parts. But a lot of people call them advanced, as if it were past tense. I go, no, they're not finished advancing. They are Advance Auto Parts, present tense, not past tense, advanced. But almost everybody calls them Advanced Auto Parts. I always thought that was funny. Yeah, you've heard of Blake's 7. Well, this guy is significantly more advanced. You're not advancing it. Kim, if you advance the timing far enough, can you go all the way around to your back, like not quite as far advanced?
No, I think you can't advance.
You're not allowed to go that direction. Not allowed to go that direction. Not allowed to go that direction.
Don't think you can go more than 180.
I think John Wilburn has left because he was not liking that. I'll say what I want to say on my channel on Friday nights. Oh yeah, John Wilburn will be on tomorrow night, so we will probably not be on tomorrow night. And if we are, it'll be later. But John comes on at what? 8 Central, 7 Eastern. No, that's not right. When does he come on? 7 Central.
No,
8 Eastern.
7 Central. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Okay, you can bring up the thing. Bring up the other camera. Let's see what it looks like.
Bring up the other camera. For some reason, that quit moving. Okay, there. It is black.
All right, let me see if I can reboot it quickly.
Black.
It's okay.
It's a
one of these days, I'll show you how to reboot
black picture.
You go deactivate.
Deactivate.
And then you reactivate.
Activate.
Deactivate. Oh, maybe it's not.
Maybe something else is wrong. We have recipes. RIP.
Try again. Deactivate.
One-eyed cat. 800. 800. 800.
Oh.
What's 800 about? Repco and brake and transmission. Oh, something happened. It said connected to... I don't know, Kim. Something flashed up. Oh, it says connected to 4K compatible. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Okay, do I close this other window? I can close that window?
Yup.
Okay, we have pictures of... See, there's what the car is really resting on.
Live stream.
See, back in the 70s when I was working in a brake shop, over a block and down like many blocks, there was a gas station, back when gas stations used to have service bays, and the guy had a sign out there that said brake jobs 1995. And a block up the street, there was another guy had a gas station, and he had a sign out front that says, we fix 1995 brake jobs. I thought that was pretty good. It's a jack-up. Yeah, those are pretty good, and they won't fall because they're already all the way down. I've got some of those jack stands that I worry about. I'll probably drill them, put a, like a... Whoa, that's a big noise. That probably should... Oh, Kim, we have no mic. What happened?
Your microphone is gone?
Yeah,
Scroll down on the microphone.
I'm going to go. Okay, there it is. Okay, we do have a mic. I'm looking to see it. Yeah, I don't know if they can hear that or not.
I hope not, because it's noisy.
She's doing something. Kim, we cannot see you. All we see is a jack stand.
Okay, I will.
You gotta put the camera where you are.
It's really harder than.
Okay. Well, I thought you fixed that. Then you put the camera, and oh yeah, that's probably where yeah, there we go. More jack stands. Okay, 615 Customs.
The only way we'll be sure to see me the whole time is if you're walk away from the camera, which, you know.
Okay, so now we're where we can see you, I think. So everyone is under the car with Kim, but now she's out from under the car. But I think she's going back.
I gotta go back.
You can hear us both, yeah. But did you hear that impact wrench running? That
I gotta do it again. Right. Can you guys see me?
we can see you. Yes, we can see you. We can see your face and your hands and your impact wrench.
I had to remove the torsion bar adjustable.
Ah, yes. So you can remove the torsion bar, and then I know what you want to do is pull that lower control arm, right? But you're gonna have to support that wheel somehow. I'm sure you know all this, of course.
Yeah.
You've done it before.
I know. We just did it on your car.
We have rain. Dean says we have rain too. Whole city is blocked off. I dripped 5 shorts. You could say I'm naked. Dropped. I dropped 5 shorts. After that hurricane went by, it kind of went by slightly to our east, but we rained for days, but not so bad that we flooded. And our property here is not, there's not a flat spot here, so it all kind of runs down into a creek area, but we were soaking wet, and then the grass got to be at least a foot high, and the day after it stopped raining, I went out there with a mower and mowed almost all of it, so it looks decent again. Wendy, good night. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Not a torsion bar. It's an unwound coil spring. Well, I guess we're going to have to wind it back up. Dean, how do we wind that back up?
Help us out, Dean. What do we do? Oh.
You know, my 64 Ford Galaxy had torsion bars in the trunk. When you lift, or deck lid, whatever you want to call it, boot, when you lift it up, there were transverse torsion bars that held the deck lid up. What your dart? It's a 1966. It's a 66.
Somebody here that doesn't know about the dart?
615 Customs is asking what your dart, and it's we drove it to, or Kim drove it to No Name Nationals and back, which is like a 4-hour drive, and it did real well, except it was leaking oil, much worse than we thought it was, and so we weren't able to run it on the track just because we weren't gonna pass tech like that, but it was plenty good enough to drive back. Then on the way back, I took my Mazda over there too, all full of tools and stuff, and that was kind of our get around car while we were there. But it got wrecked on the way home. Somebody ran into me and spun me around backwards at 70 miles an hour.
Mazda, not the Dart.
Yeah, it tore me all up. So we ended up, Dr. Go, who may still be in here, we loaded some of the stuff in Dr. Go's car, and we loaded some of the stuff in Kim's car, because Dr. Go was on his way to Clarksville, because they were on vacation. That's where they were going. Pretty good. Going the same area we were going to. And so I got in the Dart and rode home with Kim. So the Dart did the whole trip. Did real well. Drove just fine, except it was leaking oil. We thought it was coming from the rear main seal, but it looks like, after we get the engine out, it's coming from the pan gasket, where somebody had probably put some, maybe RTV or something on there, didn't let it dry, and then when they tightened down the pan, it just pushed the gasket inside, and it really soaked the clutch and soaked everything. The whole bottom of the car. There'll be no rust on that car ever.
Except for the stuff that we're about to try and fix.
So 615 Custom says, I have a 68 Plymouth Valiant 100. Where do you live? Are you the guy we bought parts from? No, that was a 67. I was thinking you might be the guy from there's a guy in Nashville but I don't know what his screen name is. We bought a bunch of Valiant parts from him. But he has Barracuda, but he was parting out the Valiant. We bought a lot of parts. See, I have a 72 Valiant that we built a slant for, and it's parked on the property down that way, but it was running.
Can you see the...
Oh, you are in Nashville. Really? See, that's the guy that we bought we didn't buy parts from you, did we? Man, because we went to... Nope, that's not you. Okay. Because we bought a lot of parts off I think it was a 67 Valiant, though, in Nashville. And that's where I got my deck lid, and Kim got a bunch of parts, and I got my fuel inlet filler neck and a bunch of other stuff. So I don't remember what you bought from him, Kim. Did you buy a transmission from him?
I got a transmission, bell housing, flywheel.
Okay.
So boy, there's a bunch of other stuff. I don't remember all of it.
Yeah, 58-year-old reliability. No kidding. You know, my Mazda was a 2016, and it's really nice because you just get in it, push the button, and it starts, and some of the electronics don't work right. But as far as it being reliable and having all the little conveniences you have in a new car, it was kind of nice. Well, that car's gone now. So now I'm starting to look at cars, and I'm looking at, the insurance company, the other guy's insurance companies. And the best thing they said to me right away, they said, we're taking responsibility for this. Okay. So I'll get paid for that car. Oh, that's a pretty good camera. You swinging that around.
Can you see?
Oh, I can sort of see where you are.
Can you see that torsion bar that I'm trying to get to?
I'm seeing exhaust pipe. I'm not sure what we're looking at. You don't have a lot of light up further forward. That white thing underneath is really lit up. But anyway, I'm starting to look at some older cars that are pretty nice because they're simple. I like it when I can open up the hood and see the ground underneath the car, instead of seeing numerous electronic... camera just died.
Die!
Yeah, it just went black.
Oh,
okay, how do I get that? Wait a minute.
Back?
It just sorta. Yeah, it's back now. It was popping in and out. It's back.
Okay, I need to do
so when I get paid for that Mazda, I may buy.
I gotta take that torsion bar off.
Okay, they can't see where you're pointing, but
okay, so that jack stand, that red jack.
Oh, I see where the torsion bar is.
The red jack stands in the middle of the.
Oh. Where the torsion bar is. You can't point. You can act like you can point. Yeah, it's not. It's okay. Right above the
jack stand, right on the top of it. I took the C clip out, and I gotta pull that torsion bar out.
Okay. So what's gonna happen to that front wheel, is there pressure like it's going to drop further? Or have you got something under it, Kim? I don't know.
There's nothing under it. It can't drop any further because the upper control arm is...
Oh, the upper control arm is bottomed out. Okay.
Bottomed.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, so tell us about your 68 Valiant. What is it? 2-door, 4-door? It's not a wagon because you're in the U.S. You know, down under. See, this is a worldwide audience here. Like Dean Stevenson's in New Zealand. So they have all the utes and the wagons and everything down there. But, so I know it's a 2-door or a 4-door or a convertible or something. So yeah, tell us about it. Let's see. Dr. Go, thanks to Eaton Detroit Springs for my good USA Leaf Springs to take that extra trunk and back seat load. I figured between all of our combined stuff, we had over 500 pounds. Man, you know what? We couldn't we had all the stuff in Kim's 66 Dart. Well, then the tires rubbed because we had way too much in that trunk. So she started taking stuff out of the trunk and putting Dr. Doe's car. And the two things, well, it's in one of my videos. He's taken our an intake manifold and an exhaust manifold, cast iron slant 6 manifolds, and putting them in his trunk. And that really made it so our tires didn't, and I guess my big duffel bag or something, and it made it so the tires didn't rub on the Dart and drove it home. Does your car have a factory radio in it? Kim, do you have a factory? Oh, in my car. Kim, my dashboard. You got it. You took it all apart. Does it have factory radio in it? I don't remember. Radios are so unimportant to me. Does it have a factory radio?
I'm sorry, I don't recall.
We don't recall.
I don't think it did.
Ooh.
There was some kind of radio in it. Young kids owned it. They probably...
Young kids owned it. Okay, it's a 2-door, slant 6 3-speed. Oh, cool. Yeah, mine's a 4-door. And I have talked about making it into a ute like they have down under, but I don't know if I have the guts to cut a car up that's as nice and straight as that one is, so I don't know. We're going to get you an M-body, but you rock a Diplomat. An M-body, that's a Diplomat?
Diplomat. Remember cool cars?
I don't know. I'm from New Zealand. Yeah, we have, tonight we have New Zealand. Well, we had somebody in here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, from Ireland. We have regulars in here that are from Australia, Mexico, Canada. Where else, Kim? India. I don't know. It's pretty good bunch of people, Dean Stevens says inductance. Man, why? Okay, 615. Are you in need of a factory radio? Well, we got so much stuff around here. We're starting to build up a pretty good pile of
horde of crap.
Pretty good pile of A-body stuff.
Yeah, horde of crap.
I was always kind of a Ford guy when I was young, because once you have this stuff around, it was 56, 57, 58, 59, 1960, 62, and 64 Ford. I had this stuff all around. So I had lots and lots of parts. Well, that's ages ago. All that stuff's gone. And now I'm not somebody that has to have a Ford or has to have a Chrysler or whatever. But when I get a group of cars that's similar, it makes sense to have the same cars. So we're kind of getting a lot of A-body stuff. I'm trying to figure out what mounting brackets I need to install a factory radio in my Plymouth.
Mounting brackets?
Yeah, I think it was just mounted by the two. I'm trying to get my hands in here. The two knobs I think there were some little nuts, and I think there was a strap that came down from the back, but I'm not sure. Tommy's from Ireland and is extremely humorous. Yeah, Tommy, I think Tommy must have left. Maybe he's there listening. I don't know. Yeah, because we had like 28 or 29 people in here earlier. We're down to 19, so I know some people took off. But if you could make the long trip to Iola, Wisconsin for the Iola Car Show the weekend after the 4th of July, they have about 400 cars and pickups for sale each year, ranging. Yeah, but I'm not going to wait to July to get me a daily driver. I don't know. I've been looking at all kinds of things. It can heal you from that affliction. This year doesn't have knobs. Oh, it has the roller things. Ah. Yeah, mine doesn't have the radio. I would have remembered that. Is it the ones that have those, the knobs are sideways. They roll up and down like I don't know what you call it. If that's what it is, no. I think there's just a hole there. I don't know. And if there's just a hole there, I'm likely to put a ham radio or something in there. Or a GPS or something. Okay, it's the ones that have the roller knobs. Yeah, I don't know how that attaches. Ooh, I'll have to look for that. And Kim's is a 66, so it's different. Okay, is our audio and video off again? Because I'm watching Kim and I can hear the noise and I see the action at different times. I hope we're not off that far going out over YouTube. I've seen a cream puff diplomat and a New Yorker. See, I don't like that body style. I don't like the diplomats and the New Yorkers. They're just clunky looking cars to me. I like your car. I don't remember what is that, a J car? But those are pretty new. And they're getting to be, they're new, but they're not that new. And they're getting expensive. Dr. Go. Here's another thing. Dr. Go lives in the wide world of rust. Oh, his car's not rusty. He must keep that thing indoors and spraying oil under it all the time. He's in Wisconsin. Nothing lasts more than 5 years in Wisconsin before it returns to the earth in the form of iron oxide.
No, that's not true.
So I've been looking here and south of here and Arizona, although Arizona's a really good run. Dean, I watch a guy in Tacora. He got Tacoro, don't know what that is. He does RC planes and drones at the small airport there. I've seen the Murata, also a J. So far, J's are not expensive. See, I wouldn't mind if I found a really good Murata. I guess that would be okay. Or if I found a, your car, your what is that thing? LS, Cordoba LS. I mean, that to me is that's a very desirable car, and yeah, I wouldn't mind having one of those. Dr. Go, people up north keep good cars in a garage and don't drive in the winter. Yeah, I guess.
You guys gotta wait a second while I get.
Yeah, Kim's under there rearranging camera. My car didn't have a radio when I bought it. I got factory. This is 615 Customs. My car didn't have a radio when I bought it. I got a factory radio and the factory faceplate off eBay, but I have no mounting brackets and don't know what.
The only thing that it mounted with the stems through the dash.
No, it's not stems. Kim, it's the one that has the wheels that roll like this. You remember the ones?
What year?
His is a 68. I remember the Dodge Darts. My friends, when they bought that 69 Dart, brand new, I remember it had those. I know what those are.
Got me. I'm not sure about all that. I don't know about all that.
Dean Stevens says 383 big block and a J body. See, I like the 383, but I guess. I mean, I look at the J body as something you could pretty much bolt a 360 in and or even a 318 and make it run, you know. I mean, Uncle Tony took me for a ride in that, what's he call that thing?
Taxi cab one.
Yeah, that blue car, the yeah, what's he call that thing? What's his blue car? Uncle Tony's garage. His blue four-door
The one he raced
Dodge.
Casper with.
The one he raced Casper with. He has a name for that thing. Can't think of it. He didn't have the nitrous on it yet. It's a 318. A stupid 318. And he took me for a ride in that thing. And Kathy got up front. I got in the back on the passenger side. And he took off and pulled a wheelie with it. It's like, yeah, bottle rocket. I just like, I'd never been in anything that fast. And it was a 318. It's like, wow. You know, it had, I don't know what the gears were at the time, 4 something, but it was incredibly fast. Yeah, I can't, Dean, I can't bring a car in from New Zealand. That's just can you imagine the cost?
Yeah, I don't think
You know what I'll do? I may just have the guts to do it. Come in, start marking where everything goes. Tavo sent me all the dimensions from his Valiant Ute, and I may just cut it and build it myself. I mean, I can do body work. I can weld. I'm used to building complete airplanes from piles of tubing on the floor and rolls of aluminum, you know. I'm sure I can do a car. So I've thought about doing that, but, you know, it's a pretty good-looking 4-door car, and it means I got to take a deep breath and cut, you know. So, let's see, 360s were available in the 80J bodies, then 318s and 81. Oh, I didn't know that. Chris, 103 Customs. Tony had a shop on a dead-end street on Staten Island down the street from my high school years ago before Tennessee. Wow, yeah, he was there. That was a long time ago. I've heard about it. I have never been on Staten Island. I have been in New York a few times. I've been around New York a little bit, but never lived there. And my parents were from New York City. And my father lived on Staten Island when he was a kid for a while. So I heard stories about it, but completely different stories than Tony tells. Tony was there. Yeah, my father was there in late 20s and early 30s. Do you like the smaller F-body Dodge Super Coupe or Roadrunners built on? You know, the Volare. I was just looking at a Volare, and the guy had it listed as a Valerie. Spelled like a girl's name. I said, "Hey Kim, look at this, a Plymouth Valerie." But it had a slant. It had a Super 6. Hey Kim, your camera just failed.
It's gonna be dead for a second.
Okay.
Trying to get it back.
So
it's really hard to keep you guys in. I need a cameraman. We gotta hire somebody.
A cameraman?
Yeah.
That sounds a little sexist.
Camera person.
A camera person?
Camera guy. I wish there was somebody.
Camera operator.
There's just nobody else here.
So, yeah, you know, that's the other thing I've been doing. I've been looking at all of Mexican Specs cars he's got available, and there's one I really want, except it's just way too expensive. It's that in the U.S. we called them an AMC Matador, and in Mexico it was called a Rambler AMX, but it's the '74 Matador body style. But they want so much money for that car. I can't afford it. I just don't have it.
Come on, you're rich.
I'm rich.
Don't you know you're a rich American? Right.
Yeah, Mexican Specs got. And the other thing, I looked at all the Fox bodies he has, but the Fox bodies in Mexico have that bubble roof in the back, like that big bubble window in the back, like the Mercury's. Yeah, I can see. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. You got to change lighting. Yeah, you got a lot of light. Yeah, that light was peeking through from under there, giving you some. Oh, that helps a lot. Yeah, in the right place, must have been the wrong time. Oh.
Okay. Let's see. These cords. I'm not going to be able to do this much longer.
Well, the other thing, it says you have to be Chris to be on Staten Island. I want to go to all these places, but, I spent most of my life traveling, working for a defense contractor. And I've been here for 3 years, and it's so nice to be home. I still kind of want to travel, but I kind of like being here. Walk over to the shop and do this kind of stuff,
We don't have a really big crowbar up here, do we?
A big crowbar?
I mean a big.
I think we have that one that's bent a little bit, but it's in the... Isn't it at the house?
Yeah,
it's at the house. Why do we have a crowbar in the kitchen? This is not normal.
All right, you can put it on the other thing because I got to go get it.
Okay, I got to go back to my other cam.
Yeah, I might as well see the batteries because it's not going to happen until I get that.
Not all of them, they do have notches. Yeah, they do. It says here something about Mexican Spec had a clean Ford station wagon with 3 on the tree. I liked. Was that the... Excuse me. Hiccups? Can you imagine having hiccups on a live? So, yeah, he had some Fairmont wagons over the years that I've kind of liked. And I had a Fairmont wagon years ago that I really liked. But the Fairmont I really liked was the one that I had. I had a 79 Futura, which is the little coupe with the kind of shortened top and the roof that kind of looked like a T-bird. What, Kim?
I'm going to the house.
Radio. Take your radio with you.
All right.
Is your radio working? No.
No, we turned them off.
Oh, we turned them off?
Yeah.
Oh, mine's on.
Go pee and get the radio. And get a...
Now you can hear me. Okay. Yeah, the radio works.
Hey, you guys, stay out of trouble. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay?
See, when we walk around the property, especially at night, we take these little radios in case somebody falls on some of the traps we have laying around, which are car parts in the grass. Oh, man. Porter called me. It's what the porter called me each morning, and 103 is the first Mack wrecker I took care of 15 years back to tow the trash trucks. Sounds like a bad movie, having a crowbar in the kitchen. I don't know why she had a crowbar down there. It was leaning on the wall. It was getting wet. I put it inside. That's how it migrated into the kitchen from the porch. I don't know. Yeah, or you crowbar cooking something in a big pot? Yeah, I don't think so. My wife had a marble rolling pin. That's not normal either, but I bet it's effective. Yeah. Yeah. Got some kind of a bug flying around here. That's one of those stink bugs from China that came in a container and infested the whole eastern U.S. We got them here. Let's see. I don't know what I want. I just keep looking at cars. A low mile, older car. Let's say one back when they still had carburetors and I can still see when I open the hood, I can still see the ground. That'd be nice. to flip pancakes that you have left on one side too long. I think I remember hearing about some Fairmont that the wheels would seize against the E back drums, and they had to use a torch and sledgehammer to remove rims. Oh man, I worked in a shop, and Ford had those Thunderbirds that had they didn't have wheel covers, they had like this soft plastic stuff that was like attached to the wheel. It was like melted onto the wheel. They had all these spokes, so it looked kind of like a spoked wheel. And I couldn't get that wheel off. I even loosened the lug nuts on that wheel. The girl had it so long that she worn the tire out, and the cord was showing, and we had to put a tire on it, and she never had the wheel off. So it was really rusty. So I had the lug nuts loosened up, and I went out in the parking lot, and I was going like this real hard one way and the other and stomping on the brakes, trying to break the wheel loose, with the lug nuts backed way off. And that wouldn't do it. I ended up having to take a torch and take all that phony baloney plastic off. I told her I was going to ruin the wheel to get it off. Okay, so you're going to have to pay for it. So I finally was able to heat the wheel off and got it off the back of the car, but man, I don't know. Rolling Dolls. I don't know what that is. You see, policeman has dinner with a lady whose husband is missing. Knows the answer could be right under our nose. Some dissimilar metals that fused. Yeah, this was steel and steel. Never macabre stories to keep you entertained, Buff. Oh, I see. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I had exposed cords. Winter may act as chains. I don't know if you've ever watched, who's that Russian guy that does all the crazy stuff? Garage 54. He took tires and he took screws from the inside of the tires and just hundreds of screws, screwed them through the tire so the threads are sticking out. And then they put something in there and a tube, and then they drove in the snow with them, and it worked really well. These self-tapping screws sticking through the tire backwards. Yeah, Vlad, that's right. Yeah, he's crazy. He's a fun guy to watch. I hope he's getting paid. This whole mess with Russia and everybody being sanctioned. He has the English version. I hope that is not in Russian, that he's able to get paid, because I know YouTubers over there that are not getting paid anymore. The spring wheel is funny too. I've watched a lot of his stuff. It's pretty crazy stuff. It says he comes up with some good stuff. He does, but I think a lot of it is his. Kim, I've got a special tool for that. That's what you needed the crowbar for?
No. I realized while I was walking over there that this is harder than it needs to be because I'm being impatient. I'm trying to skip steps. And that never works.
Skipping steps is what usually makes things take longer.
It's twice as much work.
I have learned that over the years. I'll just skip that step, and it comes back to bite me like 20 minutes later, and then it takes longer.
Why am I doing this to myself?
How do I fix my bound rear wheels on my Fairmont? Apply season. Oh. Noise.
Why is this not coming on? How the hell tight did I put these on? It's no good.
Are you sure that's not the backwards one?
No! Thank you! Go figure when you turn them the right way. There it goes.
Mopar girl. Mopar girl, turn the lug nuts the wrong way.
It's the only ones on the car that are backwards.
See, we have a Ford rear end under it, so all the lug nuts turn the correct direction, and the right front turns the correct direction, but the left front is still.
And me, the brilliant one that I am, I just keep hammering away.
Backwards Chrysler stuff.
Boy, it works so much better. Thank you so much for saving me from myself there.
I don't know. If I get paid for my car probably in the next week or so. And I've been looking, and I'm not in a hurry. I'll stash the money, and when the right thing comes up, I'll buy something. But I want something that it's not a project.
Well, you might be able to invest some of that money in a different project that we already have going.
Yeah, and then, like Kim says, I could invest it in something we already have going. I could find the right wheels for my Valiant and buy new tires for it. And we have the stuff to rebuild we rebuilt half the front suspension. We have the stuff for the other side. And, it starts and runs. Buy a new battery for it so we don't have
That's craziness!
Yeah,
new battery.
Why do we have 7 cars and 2 batteries, Because that's how hot rodders do things.
As soon as you buy a battery for it, it's going to get sold. That's what always happens.
As soon as, what happened to my Mazda when I bought the most expensive, best battery I could buy?
Well, you got probably a couple of years.
I got a couple of years out of it, but that battery was worth a lot more than a couple of years, but I lost it. I bought one of those yellow top, the batteries that have the round cells, the round cells with the yellow top. What are those things called? It was a $265 battery. And instead of the car cranking like, rrr, rrr, and it starts, or rrr, rrr, and it doesn't start, then out come the jumper cables. That thing would go, it's cranked faster than it'd idle. I like that battery, but it's gone. I could build a right-hand drive Valiant. Wait a minute. Chrysler vehicles have the engine offset to the right because in America, on the left side, there's a steering gear and all that stuff. So why would I want to put the steering gear on the right side? Oh my God. You guys have it's sad that you guys have to deal with that. I don't know why Chrysler didn't offset the whole thing to the other side. Glass mat or gel cell. It was, what's the round battery called? Yeah, Optima. Optima? Yeah, Optima batteries. It was the yellow top Optima, and it was pretty expensive. The crazy Mazda 6 has a big old capacitor in there.
Go ahead and turn the Elgato on.
Okay.
It comes up.
Elgato.
Oh, yeah. It
Comes up. Okay, so we'll go to this.
Yep.
We'll put it on split screen.
There you
Screen.
go.
So
Back to split screen, guys.
So now I forgot what I was saying because I was thinking about split screen. I don't know. Completely lost my train of thought there.
You were talking about batteries? No, we'll tell you. Those are mine.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got cool people.
Oh, the Mazda 6 has a big old capacitor in there. And they got some kind of thing that when the alternators charge you too much or when you step on the brakes, some kind of crap. That when there's extra electricity to be had, it charges that capacitor. And every once in a while that capacitor goes whack, and it puts a bunch of power into the battery. So you can't run a normal battery, but that Optima, you go to Mazda, you got to buy like an $800 battery. Well, bullshit, So the Optima yellow top, you could use it in the Mazda. So that's why I bought that. And, but I lost that battery now. So, yeah.
We don't need a stinking batteries.
They'll pay me enough. I'll be able to get. I won't be able to. I won't be back where I was, but I'll be able to replace it with something I like. I'm sure of that. Slim, Buff Delgado, buddy. What are What's he talking about?
The Elgato.
Oh, Elgato. Elgato is the name of a camera up here on the
well,
on one of the selections.
Actually, the HDMI conversion that goes from camera to computer.
Okay, and Elgato is Spanish for the cat. Yep. So I always kind of laugh. Kim, get the right tool. Kim, get the right tool.
These are Knipex. They're the best.
I have the best tools, and you're using that.
Well, you're busy, so I'll just use whatever dumb bullshit I can get my hands on. I'm sick of getting up and down. I need a toll man assisting me.
It's too late now, but I'm going to show everybody what the right tool is for that.
All right, you can. Look at this. I don't even have to get up. I got tools aplenty.
Here it is.
One tool to rule them all.
That's right. You're going to get a, what do you call that, multi-tool you put in your pocket? You're not allowed to have in California because it's got a blade in it.
A Leatherman.
A Leatherman.
I didn't say Leatherman. I said Leatherman. Not spawn.
This is the tool to take this end takes the hubcap off. Pop. This end takes the dust cover off. Jeez. See, I have this nice stuff. She's over here using the wrong tool. Yeah, Leatherman. I had an '08 Mazda 6. That thing was indestructible. I drove that. Oh, mine was destructible. We learned that.
Oh, it was destructible, but it was a very, very accident.
Okay, I drove that thing over rip-rap off-road and other large rocks. You know, the '08 Mazda 6, was that a first gen or second? Mine was a third gen, and I remember having rentals that were second gen Mazda 6, and I really liked them. Some spider dropped down. So I really liked those. Dr. Go, time to head out. Okay, Dr. Go, good night. Hey, I'm gonna have to get a hold of you. Are you busy tomorrow? Or are you going to work or something? Or can I give you a call like in normal afternoon or something? Normal afternoon times? Maybe he'll answer, maybe he won't. Yeah, David Leatherman. Yeah, David Leatherman. Didn't he have a show at night? Let's see here. Get the hammer out. Kim, you're a tool.
Can you see that, guys?
It's really out of focus. Oh, you know what? Your brake drum's in focus, but that is not.
Okay, I'm going to bring it to you.
You're going to bring it to me and put it in front of this camera. Okay. What have you got? You got grindings in it? Okay, so it means
Did we just replace the passenger ones?
We replaced the passenger ones, which means we destroyed that one on the trip. Well, it probably needed it, and we just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, we never take it apart
Okay,
to check.
so this bearing has...
It's cool.
It has hair. Bearing hair. Bearing grindings, whatever.
It's cooked real bad.
Looks like a wheel bearing. Yeah, it looks like a bad wheel bearing. So you're going to have to buy some wheel bearings.
More wheel bearings.
Dr. Go, working half day, and you can contact me through Mrs. Go since you have her contact. Okay, like tomorrow afternoon. Maybe like tomorrow afternoon or early evening or something. God, what have we got going tomorrow? Oh, John Wilbert's live. That's on after 7 our time. So it'll be before that. Sometime. I hope I don't get tied up in something. Yeah, I need to talk to you. So, thanks for being here, Dr. Go. And have a good evening. Or good night. Good morning. Jeez. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here, almost. We were going to do a short 1 to 2 hour live, is what I told Kim. And we're going up on 3 hours, and we're rolling right now.
As long as you're doing okay, we can stop whenever. Oh, we're missing some parts up here.
I'm guessing it's not in great shape, Kimborghini. What are we missing?
We never had this apart before.
I thought you did.
We inspected all
I thought you did the brakes on all 4 corners.
This one has never been apart because this has never been apart.
Well, it stopped real nice and straight, and I even made one pretty darn hard stop with no skidding, very controllable stop. So
there's a little bit of leakage out of that wheels. Can you see?
Yep. So we're gonna have so it's gonna be a wheel cylinder, and it's gonna be a cleanup job and a set of bearings and.
Why? Why? It's everything. The whole car is worn out.
It's
worn out, girl.
1966. I remember going and looking at those new in the dealer, and you know how old I was? 11. And I'm 70 now. Oh, man. Oh, Kim, you know what? They're reminding you didn't have that drywall screw tight enough. And that's why the wheel bearing failed. Anybody who was here that night, she showed how, on this side, she showed how to adjust the bearing and everything. And she says, make sure you keep this nut turned. She stuck a drywall screw in where the cotter pin goes.
I never put that up.
And then, oh, you didn't put it up?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
They saw us making.
They saw us making the video. Okay.
I have never seen.
Del Campo, prospective J-body convert. You know, if I found a good J-body and the price is right, yeah, I'd snap that up. That's about the newest car.
What?
I don't know if it's the newest car I'd want, but yeah, I if it was the right price, sure, a J-body, I'd be in. Yeah, J-body be okay. You don't like J-bodies, Kim?
I'm not sure what a J-body is. Is that?
It's like Dr. Go's car.
Oh.
You know, and they were the Chrysler Cordoba LS, which I like the front end on that, or the Murata. The Murata'd be okay, although. And then the other one, wasn't there an Imperial that had the bustle back? I don't know if I'd like that so much, but it's probably a nice car. But you know, yeah. Yeah, and Mike N says a set of new springs. You know what? You know what we used to do? We take the springs. Oh, my hand's gone. We take the springs. This is like in the 70s when I worked in a brake shop. I was taught, take the springs, clean them all up, throw them on the concrete. And if they continue to ring, they're bad. If they just go thud, you know, and the coils are nice and tight, they're good. And that was the guy that taught me to do brakes. That's what he did. And you'd be surprised how many of them keep ringing. So they were overstretched, and we replace them. But, you know, we can buy spring kits for these, but I don't know if they're bad.
Spring kits?
We're shotgunning Buff with a J. Well, CJ would be okay, but also a good A body would be okay. You know, if I found a good two-door, like a 69 Dart two-door, and it was like a low-mile decent car, I'd go for that. Or a
I'll be spending all your money.
But those people want a lot of money for them, you know. So maybe I would.
Don't sell him a car.
Imperial Frank Sinatra edition. No. Oh, what was that thing that Lee Iacocca and Frank Sinatra used to walk around? They'd calling each other chairman. That stupid car. The big mistake that Lee Iacocca made. That Maserati, that little two-door, stupid-looking Maserati convertible, or maybe it was a removable hardtop car, and he gave one to Frank Sinatra. There's one of those for sale here, and I looked at that and laughed, because I've had to fix those things before. Some mental midget junked. Oh, geez, we can't say that. Junked a T-top Cordoba a while back. Interior was near mint too. Needed paint. Ran well. You know, something I avoid like the plague is T-tops. I saw third gen.
Incoming noises.
I saw a third gen Trans Am here. More noise.
Where?
I'm shutting up while you do that.
Okay, incoming noises. Need a bigger wrench.
Kim, I can't. Oh, there, I got my mic back. Where was I? Oh, there was a pretty nice third gen Firebird Formula, and I thought, man, I wouldn't mind having that. But it had T-tops in it, and that's just a real deterrent for me. What other car is Tony selling? I don't know. Maserati TC. Yeah, Yeah, but it wasn't really off. It looked like it was off the LeBaron, but it was a different animal. I had to work on a couple of those in used car lots, and they were trouble. Nothing available for them. Not even from Chrysler, Chrysler Maserati. Yeah, they looked a lot like a LeBaron. They were a oddball, crazy thing. Too much Norm McDonald.
Okay, I'm
Chrysler
gonna do this,
TC,
and I don't
yeah.
want to make myself look dumb.
Parrot top. Okay, Kim's doing something. Oh, you got that wrench that the... Oh, what are you doing? You're struggling. Using your feet. Oh, I think it broke loose. She broke it loose. With all her weight on one side and pulling on the other side. And the wrench spun on the other side up and hit something, so I know it's not spinning. Yep.
I got you now.
JB, I got to hit it. Have a good night, all. Yeah, thanks for being here, JB. Yeah, and have a good night.
Take care. JB. Feel better.
I don't know what other cars I'm... third gen... the Firebirds. The second gen Firebirds, I'm amazed how much people want for them. Or they don't want a lot in their junk. They're all beat up and rusty. Yeah, I don't know. And of course, if I found a good Fox body anything, the Mustangs, they want a lot for them, but I like Fairmonts. Yeah, I had one pretty darn fast Fairmont. Wouldn't mind having another one. And I'm familiar enough with them that I'd be really comfortable with it, because I had Fairmonts all apart and worked on them a lot. So that's it's not fresh in my mind, but it's fresh in my mind. Oh, you broke the other one loose.
Oh man, it's too late at night for this crap.
Dean Stevenson says, JB, stay SAE. Okay, so what's SAE stand for tonight? Society of Automotive Engineers. I bet Dean Stevenson has some other idea what that is. Kim, what are you undoing? I hate to even ask what you're undoing. I saw you're short on that 4-way lug wrench. I still have my dad's from the 50s in my truck. You want to know the actual story on that? Because some guy...
loud noises!
More noise is going to have no noises.
Why is it not working?
Can't get it to engage.
Get better. Nope. Okay.
So
thank you.
One of the comments on that short with the 4-way lug nut, a guy gave me kind of a hard time.
Boy, that upset you.
Yeah, it upset me. He goes, "Hey, old man, times are a changing." He tells me, I'll wait till she's finished. The hammering is too much to talk over.
Okay, I won't hammer for a minute.
He says, "Hey, old man, times are a changing," and then he goes into how I should take a electric impact and a set of sockets with me. Well, we do that, but that 4-way wrench, you can usually throw it right in on top of a spare tire, and then you don't have to take all your power tools with you, and it's a nice thing to have. And what really happened was, the way I got stuck on the road was I was going from Yuma, Arizona to Phoenix, which is about a 3-hour drive through the desert. SAE System International aren't eligible. So
Okay, I gotta make a noise.
Here we go with noise.
Good. One more. Okay, got him.
So this is like a 3-hour drive through the desert. Hot, hot day, 120-ish degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm driving along, and there's a fairly new car parked off the side of the road. One side's jacked up, and there's a young couple out there, probably no older than 20 years old. And they're waving, where am I? They're waving, waving, waving. A car's going by. So I stop. And they bought a new car. Like, they'd only had it a few weeks. And they had a flat tire. And they had it jacked up, but the new car, they didn't put the lug wrench in it. So they got the car jacked up, they can't get the wheel off. So I take the wrench from my Mazda, which is a stamped sheet metal piece of crap, and I put it on there, and it doesn't quite fit, but I think I can get the nut off. But no, that's not what happens. It distorts the sheet metal stamped wrench and ruins it. So I'm like, oh, geez, I can't get this tire off for this guy. So the nearest town is a place called Gila Bend, which is not very big, but they got some stores there. So I drove into Gila Bend, which is like 35 miles or something, and went through several places until I found that wrench, and then I drove back out there into the desert so I could take these people's tire off for them. And I kind of went out of my way to do that, you know. And they were thankful, and I said, you know what you need to do is buy one of these and keep it in the car because it fits just about everything, and these things they're not very expensive. Get one at Harbor Freight or something. So, I don't know. Then the guy gives me a hard time, calls me an old man, and tells me times are a change and I need to keep all this battery-powered stuff in my car. I don't know. I don't know. I get once in a while a comment gets to me a little bit, and the best thing I do is I think I do is just not respond to it. And the thing about having the battery-powered impact wrenches in the car, sure, if we're going on a trip, I take them. But, you know, for every day, I don't, because you know what's going to happen if you rely on that. The day you have the flat tire, the battery's going to be dead, and you're going to be in the same position. So, yeah. And the reason that 4-way wrench is not in the car right now is because I removed it from the car when it got wrecked. So it's in the shop. It'll go back in whatever I get. By then they were dead. No, they were,
By then, no!
You know what they did have? They had a cooler and a bunch of water or some kind of drinks. Oh, sorry. Oh, wasn't listening. I don't know. So, anyway. I guess I knew the whole story and they
Don't
didn't.
tell them what makes you mad.
No, I know that
Then they'll mess with you.
some people, some comments sometimes irritate me, and I just gotta blow it off and go, that's just the way people are. I mean, his mom actually lets him out to drive her minivan. You let her mom. What is this? I mean, his mom actually lets him out to drive her minivan. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm missing the, if that's a joke, I'm missing it. So I'm not so sharp all the time. I'm old enough that I don't get all the jokes anymore.
Sometimes they're
You know what? Here's what. You want to know what gets me? Some 12-year-old in a middle school will say something that's funny and use a word incorrectly, and they use it on social media or something. It goes viral, and it becomes something that's less than nice. And then stupid me that doesn't know about this 12-year-old, I use the same word. I get censored for it. Because I said something that wasn't nice. And that Yeah, that bothers me.
It almost never happens.
Oh, it happens. It's happened a couple of times, and I'm, a 70-year-old guy doesn't follow what 12 or 13-year-olds are doing on social media. Soccer mom van. Yeah, I don't want to buy a van. I mean, like a Chrysler minivan's nice little light duty van, but that's not what I want. We have two vans here. Mine is currently not registered, not insured. Kim's is registered and insured. Mine just needs a battery. It could be a good van. And we have a little trailer we can tow. So, no, don't tell us, Buck. So, I don't remember what I was saying. Lost track. Oh, so we do have truck. We have things we can use as trucks. So I wouldn't mind having a light duty truck like an El Camino or Ranchero or a Australian Ute, Guy told you to get battery impact. Oh, drives his mom's minivan. You know what I did? I clicked on his name to see what his channel was. And guess what? No subscribers. No videos. It's somebody that does nothing. Yeah. I think that was the guy I did that. Once in a while I do that. I click to see what they do, and it's like, yep, somebody that does nothing.
They're always the biggest critics. You know why? Because they can't stand themselves.
Yeah, I was out in Arizona working, and we'd fly out there or something. They'd always give us rentals. And one time I got a Chrysler minivan, like a new one. Almost, I had like a couple 100 miles on it. And I didn't want it. And I thought, I said, what else do you have? And they said, well, we don't have anything else. All right. So I drove it around for a couple of weeks. It was a real pleasant thing to drive. The thing I liked was the gear shift. Where's my hand? The gear shift was up here on the dashboard like an old...
See okay?
Yeah, like an old Dodge A100 from the 60s. So, it was a pleasant vehicle, but that's not what I want, You get kids who really don't have life experience out in the real world, have never had to work and pay for things, but they will tell you how wrong you are. Keyboard jockeys, yeah. And I know that. But I'm, once in a while it irritates me. Perfect. An influencer, yeah. Oh, I have people that are downright nasty once in a while, and yeah, I think they're just looking for a reaction, so I don't give it to them. And if they're too nasty and they use language I don't like being nasty, I just delete. And I've done that probably 3 or 4 times.
It's pretty easy to delete the really bad ones.
The really bad ones I delete. I mean, some of them there are a couple that were really not nice. And they were gone. But if they're just smart-ass know-it-alls that don't know it all, I leave them there. And a lot of times somebody else will reply to them and call them out on it. So Kim, I'm watching this and I see you've got the steering arm off.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you? Oh, I see what you're doing. You're taking the lower control arm off.
Yeah, I gotta get this torsion bar out. And it requires the whole disassembly.
Okay, what I pronounce Citron, and some people say Citroën, or I don't know what the hell it is. It's a French car. The Duchevaux had shifters like that. Yeah, you know what other car had a shifter, but it was kind of like that? Was the Pontiac Vibe, which is actually some kind of a Toyota. And when that thing first came out, I went and looked at one, and salesman's really trying to sell it to me. Here, drive it. You're taking it for a ride. And I was just looking at it. I got in there and had some goofy shifter stuck in the dashboard. And it's like, as soon as I started it up, and then I didn't want to drive it. I said, I could never drive this. This shift mechanism's too ugly. I don't think the salesman liked that. Lannon has the nicest influencer, but they do stuff. Yeah, I don't mind constructive criticism. Like when I pulled that, I did a short recently where I used a puller to pull the front pulley off that dart off that slant six. Well, I just ran it with an impact wrench, and I could see it moving. It was sliding right off. And I didn't grab it, and I probably shouldn't have done it the way I did it. And it got away from me. It fell on the floor. So somebody gave me a hard time about dropping the guy said that I dropped it and I destroyed the surface of the it's,
Sorry.
I couldn't talk over the hammer. So he said that I probably destroyed, or he didn't say probably, he said I destroyed the sealing surface on the vibration dampener, and I chipped the concrete. Uh-oh. Now that's probably not the best tool to use for that, but I guess you could. I mean, that's really for tie rod ends that you're going to replace. Oh yeah, yeah, whack it with the hammer. I mean, whack it with the hammer. Just don't miss.
It's not going. Being feisty tonight.
So yeah, the original little Honda. I don't remember what they called that. Ooh, you're not hitting the stud, are you?
Gotta get the other angle. You guys can.
So the original Honda that I don't remember what it was called.
Sorry for all the noise.
Oh, Honda 600. Yeah, that thing had a thing coming out of the dash. Whoa, something flew over here and hit the wall.
Why is it not coming out of here?
Because it was put in 1966 and it's telling you
It could be it.
that it's not coming apart.
It's just disagreeable.
So, and then the second one was called the 600Z, and I think it also had a shifter coming out of the dash. I forgot about those. Man,
Now it hit it everywhere.
Beating the crap out of it. You have no idea how noisy that is.
You have or they have?
Plenty of things annoy Landon, but he has 6,000 lovely, friendly, and pleasant foreigners who get married when he pops a new bulb in his taillight housing. He goes through his whole car, and you get, ooh. Okay, Kim, so I don't know what's happened back there. It's hidden.
I don't know either. Give me a second. Something else I did.
You could remove that whole thing and do it up in the vise.
Getting there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that, but it's probably what you could do.
It's really being a little bastard like that.
A little what?
Bastard.
So, the people in the chat here, all our viewers, do you like the split screen? 600 rev to almost 9,000 RPM. Yeah, it was a motorcycle engine, I think.
Oh yeah, they can see it doing stuff.
Oh, you got it off.
No.
Oh no, it's the what's off is the steering arm's off the other part. Still stuck to the thing. You know, I'm not kidding, Kim. That's really for something you're going to replace.
Yeah. I get it.
Is
I'm trying to.
is Kim going to make that dart into a straight axle gas or no? No. Further down the road with the dart, did anybody hear? I'm sure somebody saw it. She took a rear end out of a Chrysler Crossfire, which is an independent suspension, and it was
like a BMW.
Like more like a Mercedes, because it is a Mercedes.
Yeah, my mistake.
So, Kim, how much too wide was it for this car?
56.
What was it?
It was 5 inches wider.
Okay, it was 5 inches wider than this car. So she figured out where we had to cut and weld and everything with that cross member and shorten the half shafts and everything. And we did that project in here because she was going to back half this car and put the independent suspension under the back of this dart. But No Name Nationals is coming up, so we ended up putting the Ford rear end under it because it just fit. And so sometime in the future, I think the independent suspension is going to go under the rear end, and there'll be disc brakes going under this end. Dean says it needs a Model A front axle.
No, it doesn't.
No. But it's even funnier when
forward, not backwards, Dean.
But it's even funnier when Buff gets triggered by Kim razzing him with the wrong tool. Yeah, you see, like I worked for 55 years in my life, and the first 3 years was doing a paper out, delivering newspapers, and working in a bicycle shop where I bought a few tools. But then after that, I was working in automotive shops, and I bought tools my entire life. So I have this great collection. Some of them got used by people and didn't get brought back, but most of those got replaced. But I have just a super collection of tools, and I learned to use them. I learned to use the right ones. Lord, won't you buy me a Daimler-Benz IRS? Boy, that oil leak sure has taken a different direction.
Damn it, if you ain't right about that. This is the worst oil leak I have ever tried to track down.
Kim, that's a good view.
Oh, is it just my butt?
It's some shit, yeah.
Well, click away from that for a minute till I get through this.
She wants me to click away to this.
Dirty pants.
Tim's got it right. I'd put drums on the front and disc brakes on the IRS on the back. Oh, and maybe a straight axle up the front. Oh, man. Then we could back up like crazy and do backwards donuts. Oh, man. Lock up one front drum. I told Kim what I wanted to do for the I think it's stupidest
Okay,
things.
you can come back.
I told Kim what I wanted to do for the burnout contest was find 2 front drive cars. They were wrecked in the back and lop them in half and weld the 2 front halves together. You have 2 drivers and burning in opposite directions. But of course, that's a lot of work.
Oh, I know what I need.
Okay, we're back to you, Kim.
I know what I need to do.
What do you need to do?
Shock it from 2 different directions.
You got what?
You have to shock it from 2 different directions.
Just put it up in the vise and whack on it with a
I
hammer.
can't get it out of here. You show me how to get it out of here, I'll do it. But until then...
Hey, you're working real hard holding that brake up. Can you use some safety wire or something to hold the brake up? Or I got some clips here. Will these things work?
Do you not see the screen?
I don't know. Yeah, but I can't really see what's going on.
Look, I'll try and get a better angle. Why can't you see? Let me see. I can't.
Well, I'm looking at it. I don't really see what all the details are. I can see pieces and parts, but they're not all making complete sense to me. Yeah, that oil leak, Kim. I think you got carried away, but you did find bad bearings.
This has escalated considerably.
Dean Stevenson says put bias plies on the front.
This is how it's done. See, 2 hammers.
Oh yeah, that'll make more sense. Yeah, and then.
Well, that was unexpected.
What happened?
Nothing.
I thought you were gonna back it up with one hammer and whack with the other one.
That's what I did, but I needed
you took 2 swings in different directions. We did that on Roadkill. Cut up 2 cars and weld them together at some junkyard. Oh, I didn't know that. See, because I don't watch that stuff that much. Motor Trend. Yeah, coat hangers. You know, Kim took a coat hanger apart, a wire one, hung it and got finished with it and hung it up on one of those pegs on the wall behind me. And today she's over there and she's going like, got it. She's going like, help me. And I look over there and she's got that coat hanger caught in her shirt and she can't get loose.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. She hung up a coat hanger that was all untwisted. Like, what'd you do that for? Okay, so she got the hard thing apart with 2 hammers. Oh, now you're trying to get the strut rod undone. Why don't you use the impact on that?
Well, I'm going to have to hold this spinning. I don't know if I even need to. I think it'll come out. Let's see.
How are you feeling, Kim? Usually you're good for about 2 hours of work before you get really sore. And you're 3.5 hours into it. 3.5 hours into your 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't know. You can be done if you want to be done streaming.
Well, no, you're gonna.
Is anybody still out there watching?
There's 13 people watching.
Well, thank them for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being.
You can keep going. You make a decision. I don't know.
Your vice grips are spinning.
I know. I'm looking for a place for them.
They'll stop spinning at some point.
That's what I'm hoping.
They're hitting some. They'll hit something and stop spinning.
There you go. Come on. Stop already.
Dean says it's broken. Nah. Everyone is hung up. Everyone has hang up. Has hang up, not hung up. Kid must be working on adrenaline. That's what they said after I had the accident, the on purpose.
I am. I'm running on pure grease and dirt and.
Oh, everyone has hang-ups.
Okay, ready, noise. I gotta get a little more gooby-doob and then a little more noise.
A more gooby-doob. Oh, CRC power lube.
Go.
Got it. I'm surprised more people don't use CRC power lube. I think maybe it's just the airplane guys use it. It's really good stuff. It's a very light oil, kind of like WD-40, except it actually has oil in it, you know. Tim says our dog went to bed without me. Instead of getting the stare down, you got a sleeping dog. Look at that dumb human over there watching a screen that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Speak like a pirate. Yar.
Oh, shoot.
So what happened to me after the crash was I felt perfect. Nothing happened to me. And everybody goes, that's the adrenaline. It's the adrenaline. And I'm thinking, nah, I'm fine, you know. It was a crazy ride, you know, but I was sitting there, nothing hit me. So by the time I got to the hospital, my neck was all crackety. Like when I was young, I used to snap my head around and get a crack out of this way and a crack out of that way. Well, now it's like 40 cracks each direction. I'm thinking, yeah, something changed. And yeah, doctor said I'd be sore. And here we are, what, 10 days later? I'm still a little sore and the neck's still cracking, but it's way better than it was. And everybody says, oh, yeah, it's the adrenaline. Oh, there you go, lower control arms.
Yep.
About out.
It's coming out.
It's coming out.
It's coming now. This was a very big goal.
And you have the bushings, so we have the parts. I got a feeling you slowed down the progress of the aluminum car by a couple of weeks. But,
maybe a little bit.
But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Junkyard D been listening to the Kim and Buck podcast while painting. Thanks for the good company. Junkyard D, what are you painting? Are you like, psst, 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 or are you like, brush, 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 brush?
Oh, man.
Oh, man, what? You got it all out of there and it's good?
It's landlocked by the... Oh, no, I can steer the other way. Oh, my gosh. I thought I had to take the whole steering apart. I could just turn
the steering wheel turns.
I turned the steering wheel. Man, I was worried there. I was really worried.
Oh, yeah, that part moves.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I had to take the steering knuckle and...
Oh, man. I do have to be careful, like just like that, whipping my head around backwards. That hurts. And it didn't used to hurt. So something isn't quite right. But chances are I'll be, it'll get better. It's like, yeah. CT scan, they can see everything. There's no broken bones.
Get this out of here.
No broken bones. But, yeah, what are you painting? Tell me what you're painting. Tell us what you're painting. I like that when people just listen because they're busy. Because we're busy here. I hate getting old. I lost focus. Why is Kim taking the steering apart? Oh, she decided to take the lower control arm out because the inner bushing is completely worn out. And to get it out, she had to undo that ball joint. I don't know why she took it off the backing plate. Maybe to make it easier or something. I don't know. She and I probably do things a little bit differently. But, and then she's sliding the torsion bar out of that so she can get the, get that lower control arm off there. Wax on, wax off. Junkyard D. Wax on, wax off.
Look, what you do in your own time is your business, but...
Oh, you're painting living room and 2 bedrooms. Okay, so you're not like going, you know, like urethane clear. You're going like, or rolling. Rollering something. Kim, what happened here? Somehow I lost my mic again. What's going on? Oh, there it is. I got it. It's just, sometimes that mic, tape gauge goes down below where I can see it, and I don't know why that happens.
It scrolls, yeah.
It just disappears.
I know. Uh-huh. Torsion bar.
I could actually see that moving.
No stuffs on the torsion bar.
That's really important too, for those of you that don't know that.
Yeah, you can never grab.
Maybe everybody knows that. You don't want any she says scratches. You don't want any what's wrong with my dead brain? Yeah, you don't want any scratches on the torsion bar. Scratches, marks, anything else, because that's where it'll break.
Yep.
Stress, I was going to say stress risers.
Yeah, you'll ruin it with stress. There
Yeah.
it goes. Torsion bar.
You can pressure wash them, you can wipe them all down, you can paint them, but do not scratch them.
There it is.
There it is.
All right.
So you're gonna buy some big heavy duty ones like for a big block? Oh, they didn't put big blocks in those.
They're adjustable. I think there's probably.
Yeah, but they're soft.
All
They're
right,
for a
you
6.
guys. How many people are left? I don't want to show everybody, but if there's somebody still in the chat, I will show them the thing.
She's gonna show you the thing. Yeah, there's 15 people in there right now.
All right, don't go anywhere.
So Junkyard D says he rolled the walls and he's trimming with a brush.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Nice work.
I know that routine. I've done that.
Now we're gonna put a new bushing in there because you can see it's pretty hammered. But,
yeah, those are not fun to install.
But I mean, we have a press. It's okay. But wait, there's more. The thing that they really want to see, that they don't even know they want to see it, is the frame. That why all of this is happening is because of the frame. And I want to show them.
I'm not sure I even know.
But my hands are so
let's
dirty.
see your hands.
My hands are so dirty that I can't even touch my camera. So you got to give me a minute to find some kind of solvent here.
Solvent.
Down.
Yeah, I have that green stuff, but I'm not sure that's going to do it.
It's not enough.
That's not going to do it.
Down, though.
I have a can of diesel around here somewhere, but then you'll.
That would probably work too.
Yeah, but then you'll.
CRC works really good.
Yeah, if you put the diesel on your hands, it'll stink for the next 3 or 4 days.
CRC smells kind of good.
CRC Power Lube smells good. It lubricates well. It's not that expensive. It's wonderful stuff. And we put up the penetrating oil.
Nobody knows what it is. It's good stuff.
The penetrating oil pole. CRC Power Lube got 0 votes, and the only thing I can think of is people just don't know about it. They don't use it. Junkyard D says, "Show me your thing." No.
Wait till you see it. I'm just trying to get my hands. Look.
Well, here tonight, this is my thing. These are dust cap pliers. That's my thing.
Do you have a short for tomorrow morning?
I do have a short for tomorrow morning.
Okay, good.
Let's see, 80826F A 1973 Ford LTD H code 351 Windsor 4-barrel. Buff's next car, Mexican spec, could cut you a deal to Arizona. A 73 LTD, that's a big honking car, but it would be comfortable. 351 Windsor 4-barrel is, I really like those engines. And it's a 73, that's a low compression one with the retarded,
Why? With the timing,
with the cam timing, misadvanced, whatever you call it, backwards advanced. Can't use the R word, and I used it. Yeah, I used it. So, so it'd have to be a little bit to deal with there, but.
All right, this.
Okay, here we go.
This is.
Oh, that's the place. I hadn't seen it yet either.
This is the problem.
Oh yeah, that's the piece we have to replace. Okay. And you said we can either buy that piece, or we have tubing. We can make a channel. Yeah, that's not good, is it?
See, but it's okay on this side.
So we could. Yeah, I mean, it's a cut and weld job, but yeah, we can do that, of course. And now's the time to do it.
There's never going to be another time to do it.
Just take the carpet or whatever out of the inside so we don't burn anything up there, and get the wiring out of the way. Enough that, and I'll MIG weld it so it'll be, heat will be really localized. Sure.
On the inside of the
oh yeah, it's a Mexican car, 9.2 to 1. Oh, it might have this. See, I had a 4-barrel. It was a 69, and it could have been 290 horsepower.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm dragging cables all around.
Oh man, that might be the same engine I had in my Mach 1. See, I had a 69 Mach 1 with a 351 Windsor 4-barrel, and I think it was 290 horsepower.
Okay, here comes the other angle.
Man, when we get down to the house tonight, I'm gonna look at that.
Oh.
Except it's a big car. What's he want for it? Oh, I shouldn't have turned my neck so fast. Don't do that. Oh.
Okay.
What you doing?
Sorry.
Oh, you're under there with the. Oh, you're looking at the other side of it?
That's the other side.
Okay, yeah. So obviously it needs to be replaced. Yeah, we'll have to pull that tubing loose and stuff, and I don't know what holds that thing on there. What holds that tubing juncture thing on there?
You can't see it. It's just one bolt.
Okay.
So now I take it apart.
Oh, the bolt's on this side. I thought it was coming through from the other side. Okay.
There's bolts onto it.
Yes.
And then see, there's where the torsion bar was in the way.
Yeah, yeah. So
we'll not have got to that without taking all of that apart.
Yep, we can do that. Sure. This is the time to do it.
I'm sorry that we're invested this much in it, but it just needed done.
Huckleberry Finn.
It's not really
what the hell
car with it messed up like that.
Bitten by the rustworm. Yeah, but that's the only spot.
Yeah, the rest of it is fantastic. Actually, the rest of it is covered in so much oil.
It's covered so much oil. And the what did you say? Some reason you figured out why it did it there?
Well,
the car was sitting in water,
some dirt and some mud, and it clogged the drains on that one particular part.
And then the car sat for whatever it was, 10 years.
Look,
10 years as a
passenger side. Check out the passenger side. The passenger side is beautiful. See?
Yeah.
Passenger side.
Yep.
Beautiful. No problems.
Well, it's nowhere near as bad as what you'd explained to me. So I mean, we'll just do it. It's
very isolated problem, and it's very repairable. There's plenty of metal to weld to around it. It's just that one area. And now that we have the entire drivetrain out of the car, it'll be easy.
Now we have the entire drivetrain out of the car. We were gonna fix a main seal.
This rear main seal repairs really escalated. All right, we can shut this camera off.
Okay, we'll just do it. I mean, it's not a big deal. Okay, we're off. You can see where she is under there. Oh, that's not that bad. Mine was worse. I sleeved the inside and plated the outer frame. Yeah, we'll probably just replace that section or something. Yeah, the Mexican specs 69 through 73s were all Dana 44 top loader manual. Wait a minute. It's a 4-speed?
He doesn't want a 4-speed
manual. And H code 9.2, 290 horsepower. 4-barrel. That's like my 69 Mach 1. She really wasn't expecting that. Well, wait a minute. So how much? It's a LTD. It's a big car. I'm trying to go back up there. LTD H code. So what? Oh, it's a 3-speed manual column top loader. So what? What's he want for it? I don't know if I want a full-size car. That's a big honking car, but it sure is the right engine. Man. And of course, that's easy to import from Mexico because it's plenty old enough to import to here without any problem. The Mexican spec, I've worked with him on things before. He's easy to work with. Good guy. Gets stuff into the U.S. pretty nicely. And of course, he's lived on both sides of the border, so he's car dealer here, car dealer there. He knows his stuff. So what you doing back there, Kim?
I'm getting ready to stop working. Just a smidge.
Getting ready to stop working. Your mark. Get set. Stop. Yep. I can't even imagine a full-size 73 LTD with on the column. That's got to be crazy. I mean, you just never see that. That's a rare car for here. Kim, what could I do with that 351 Windsor?
Drop it.
Just the way it is. I don't even have any Fords to put stuff in anymore.
Guys.
You're done?
It's 1:45.
Yeah, but I asked questions. US 950. What? To Nogales, and its price is listed. I'm only using the power of suggestion. 950? That doesn't sound right.
No.
Oh, that's to Nogales. So we don't know what the cost of the car is. Well, the price is listed. Okay, I'll go look at it when we're done here, which is what coming right up. We're gonna go back to the house and I'll look to see what Mexican specs. Oh, she's shutting the lights off.
I'm just.
That means my face just got dark.
Oh,
that means we're about done.
We're closing time.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. We had a good time.
If you have questions or conversation you want to complete, go ahead.
No, I think we kind of finished it.
You guys have been great. Thank you so much for being here.
I don't know when we're going to be back. Let's see.
I hope you guys like that side camera thing, which cost me a bundle.
Tomorrow. Make sure you go to John Wilburn's live at I think the same time. I know it's earlier than us. It's 7 Central, 8 Eastern time in the U.S. And then we might come in after him. I don't know. Just watch if we come in.
I might not be able to even get out of bed tomorrow. This was
and Sunday night we may do the after the Tony show if Ari Tavernia is not doing the after the Tony show. I'll try to coordinate with him, and so we may see you Sunday for sure. We'll be here on Tuesday night like always, and then there's the impromptu in the shop stuff. So
we got a lot of loose ends to tie up here.
Tim says Kim just laid Buff off. No more work. Dean said he liked the dual screen thing. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we show you everything, how it's done while it's as it's done. This is real time. Honestly, I don't know how to record this and make it into long form content like we want. We want that because it's what gets people to grow on YouTube and make money, but like, you see how difficult it is to record this stuff. It's really tough.
What the hell is Dean saying?
Oh, have you had any luck, Tim? Is it dead? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you got to work on your laptop.
He said it might be fried.
I don't like working on laptops. You know, a tower, I get my hands in there and stuff, but I only have like one tower left. Everything's laptops, and I hate going into laptops. She'll dive into a laptop and work on it, but
I would prefer not to, though.
She's done it. I've seen her do it, but yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna shut it down.
All right,
so
we'll see you guys real
take care.
soon.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks
For being here.